Hello, hello, hello. Can everybody hear me? I swear, if I cannot be heard, I'm going to be so upset. Can everybody hear me? I sure hope so. I'm gonna check real quick. You let me know. It's very annoying. Can I be heard? Hello? It's very annoying. Can I be heard? Oh, I can be heard for once. Oh, glorious. Oh, glorious, glorious day be to all. So, today, talking about the Halo TV show. And also comparing and contrasting with better things. And I decided to do this because, for one, I did not want to talk about this show without first having watched all of it. I wanted to be fair. I wanted the entire show to come out before I discussed any of it. So I'll be checking back for comments and stuff. But at the moment, I know I'm alone. So, but here's the thing. All right. So, Halo TV show. Let's see. Halo TV show. All right. Images. All right. I want to say first things first. Costume design, for the most part, really good. Special effects, for the most part, were pretty decent. And when the action came on, as sparingly as it did, it was fine. Um, my issue is with 90% of the series. This being the major one first. I'm gonna keep checking back on StreamYard because I can't see. Um, so it's my first issue is that this man shows his face. Now, in the first episode, here's what we first have to address. That this series was never meant to be canon. It's the silver timeline. It's a different continuity, right? It did the opposite of what Disney did with Star Wars. It said, no, everything you love and cherish did happen. This is just an alternative telling. So I tried to be less harsh on this show than I would have been had it been considered canon. However, for the genuine audience, for people who have never seen or only vaguely know what Halo is, this would have been their first introduction. And this is not what Halo is. First off, he takes off his helmet. In the first episode, I understood, right? This girl would not listen. She wouldn't care because she just saw a robot man that would not understand her. And so he took off the mask so that she could understand him, so that she could empathize and relate. But then he did it in subsequently every single episode. In fact, he took it off so much, it's almost as if the show writers wanted to say, F you don't get your Master Chief. Because this isn't Master Chief. This is a Jake Skywalker situation where he doesn't even act like the Master Chief. And my biggest issue is that there was so much potential for this series, and yet it feels like a CW show, like Arrow or The Flash or something. I'm gonna keep checking back for comments. Still got nothing. I'm on my own. That's okay. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like I wanted to really enjoy it, and there's moments of enjoyment, but to all those people who know about the Star Wars expanded universe, if you remember the Karen Traviss Republic Commando series in her last like two, everybody sits around and does nothing for 90% of the books. That's this show. I mean, they're supposed to be in this major war, this major conflict with the Covenant, and yet you hardly see them. And most of the episodes revolve around Master Chief bumbling around the government HQ, having all the important characters be at the same location when it's supposed to be a galaxy spanning war, so you would think people like Keys and everything would be out in the front lines fighting, doing stuff. But instead, they're all cooped up in one location because they couldn't afford too much. The best thing about the show is probably Halsey, I'll say. She, I still don't like how young she looks, but she portrayed that character adequately enough. But then another thing is that they delve into the Halo 4 and what the novels delve into, which is the whole Oni being bad, the government agency of the Halo universe. Now, We got seeds that we showed the grayness of the government as early as the Halo novels that came out when the first game came out. We started the fall of Reach with children being kidnapped, with Halsey second guessing herself, but going through with the decision. We saw that gray conflict, but we still had 3 games where John and the military were heroes. You're supposed to have that first. You're supposed to have, "Oh, John is the stoic, he's the hero, and the army is, they're the good guys versus the Covenant, the bad guys," up until you get to Halo 4, where you can deconstruct that a bit and be like, "Well, maybe Oni isn't this perfect thing." But if you just do that within the first couple episodes of season 1, you have destroyed all that. You've destroyed all that buildup, being like, "Oh yeah, these guys are great," only to learn, "Oh, they're not so great." You've already established that they're so horrible that it's like, you have nothing to build off of here. And Master Chief is supposed to be, freaking having character development, but we never got to see what he was like originally. Episode 1 was probably the best because they hid the truth from us. I mean, we already got bits of that with another character being, freaking Quan, or fudge you spell it. I don't freaking know. Whatever. This character, she sucks. She's a nothing character. She means nothing. She is nothing. She screams. She whines. She wants to build an entire rebellion like in Star Wars by herself as a 14-year-old girl or however old she's supposed to be. And she shows no sign of maturity. She just screams and yells and says, "I must do this. I must do that. Da, 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 da." And everything with her. Nobody cares. Who asked? Who asked for this? Absolutely nobody. The only redeeming thing truly about the show is this guy, and that's because he's not even really in the books. He is like freaking Halo TV Saren, what's his name? Saren or I don't know how to spell his name. Saren. This guy. This man is absolutely wonderful. I love this man. But to be fair, there was nothing to ruin. And then there's this chick. Another thing. There's so much to discuss. There's so much to unpack. I would prefer having somebody else with me, but at the moment I'm completely on my own. But another thing is we have these inhibitor chips in the Spartans, which wasn't a thing before. Okay, the inhibitor chips, they were never a thing. The Spartans also don't remember that they were kidnapped, whereas in the original lore, they do know that they're kidnapped. They've just made peace with it and realized that they're fighting for a greater good. Um, that's another thing. Like, I get that it's a different timeline, but if you're not going to write something that's better than source material, then why change it? And we already have examples of good live action. We have the trailers and stuff that they made for Halo prior to this show that show the tone of this universe better than this show ever has. And then we have Aki. She goes against everything that Halo. The fact that the prophets even have a human working for them. Now, to be fair, they screw her over in the last episode. They want her to die. Blah blah blah. Whatever. They shouldn't be working with a human regardless. But like I said, the show is decent. It is not the best thing in the world. It is not the worst thing in the world. It is perfectly average, but it it isn't Halo. It is a sci-fi show with Halo slapped on it. Aesthetically, a lot of times it does. It looks like Halo. But nothing about this show feels like what Halo is. This man, the guy playing Master Chief has his helmet off so much. Wouldn't it be more impressive? Like, I don't like The Mandalorian. I'm not into the new Star Wars canon. You obviously from my channel. But he keeps his mask on for the majority of the show. That makes even more sense for the Spartans to do that. And yet every conceivable chance he has, he takes it off, or they zoom into his face like an Iron Man into his helmet. then what's the point of giving us the suit if he's just never gonna wear it? Not to mention all the worthy moments in this show. If you're gonna have sex and stuff in Halo, then it should have been Sergeant Johnson, which is another thing, and we didn't have him in here. But as my boy would so wonderfully put it, right? There you go. You want somebody to have sex, you have Sergeant Johnson do that because Sergeant Johnson, he's a man. He's a man's man, the manliest of men. But that is unfortunately the case, and I'm really sad that this is what we have. But that is. We should have had so much better, so much more than what we got. But instead, this is all we have. I mean, look at this. Oh, hold on. But like, just for some examples of like this stuff that we have in the show, and I'm sure I'll get copyrighted for it. But frick you, Paramount, your show sucks. Here, for example. So as you're about to see, it doesn't even fit with the story that they're telling. Because he's not supposed to have any emotions right now. He has an inhibitor chip, right? Okay. How about this awkward scene as well? Oh, look, he's not in a suit. This guy right. Oh, also, hold on. Wait. This guy right here is more like Master Chief than Master Chief. We have this girl. She's a fine actress, I guess. She played her role fine, but pointless. This girl, I don't know. She didn't have enough screen time for me to care, but she's there too, and she acts more like a Spartan than anybody else in the show does. Those two are good. Um, God. But also, if anybody wants to join, feel free to. Assuming anybody joins the live stream. But yeah, we got this. Not in a suit. This is 90% of the show. Also, they were willing to go through with all the CGI to make her look like this, but they didn't make her blue. They made her have like skin flesh, which I mean, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but just why? Why not just make her blue then? It's just a weird uncanny valley thing that's yep. And then what else do we got here? We got an assassination of Master Chief right here with this scene, if it loads. He would never do this. He straight up tries to hit a civilian. Oh, okay, I guess she's not a civilian, but still. She's unarmed. She's not a threat. This is not Master Chief. And then we get the big one. No, sorry about that. Let's just look at here for a second. Master Chief is his sex drive is supposed to be basically suppressed so that he doesn't feel the need to do that. But as you can see, well, well, he well in the Halo show, apparently it's not because he gets clapped in some cheeks. The moment this happened, I was like, "Oh god, it's over. It's over." I knew it was gonna happen after that. Mm. Also, remember, she is a spy for the Covenant, and regardless if she has real feelings or not, doesn't matter. He goes into basically her prison room and has sex with her, okay? Like, I cannot fathom how awful that is. It goes on for, like, a solid, like, minute or, like, 2 minutes of just sex, who asked for this? Who is this show for? Oh, yeah, this is what I think of when I think Halo. Oh, not to mention the fact that Cortana's watching, is to not make that any weirder, right? And it's so uncomfortably long, too, like, why? Oh, look, the actual Cortana, so good to actually see her. Um, God, this show. If only Master Chief could meet Master Chiefs. Hello, Nameless. Um, man, everybody can see my background because I didn't do this whole sharing thing correctly, but, it's okay. Um, yeah, so I wanted to be fair, though, because I know it's not canon, but as I said before, the vast majority of people are that watch the show, a good portion of them haven't played the games, and so as an introduction to the universe, this is a terrible one. For most of the show, and I wanted to wait till it was finished because I didn't wanna be like those YouTubers like, "Oh, every video, oh, this is amazing," or, "Oh, this is garbage," wait till everything comes out and review it as a whole. And I tried. I really it's not a horrible show. It's written decently. It's like I said, it's a CW show, like with the Arrow or the Flash or whatever the hell else they got on the CW, right? It's competent, but it's not Halo. It doesn't feel like Halo. Master Chief spends like 7 episodes on one planet, on the planet Reach. He's just walking around, diddling around, doing nothing. And then we follow Quan Ha, who nobody cares about. The only cool redeeming part of that section is Saren, and he wasn't even really a character. Like he had a short story. He had one short story in the expanding universe of Halo, and so you had a lot that you could like kind of work with there to do whatever you want with. So that's why he's the least offensive because he doesn't have a character really in the expanding universe of Halo. Um, and just if you like it, I'm really glad for you, but it does not feel like Halo. This is only season 1 too. It's gonna be a rough couple seasons. Absolutely. This show, I don't know. But overall, I don't enjoy this show. Will I keep watching it? I don't know. I might stop. Um, they could potentially fix it with enough fan feedback, but I doubt it. Um, I mean, I get it. It's a different timeline, but why do you change so much of what is the core of it? Like, I get changing things for TV, but I think more than the Master Cheeks and all that, well, all that too is stupid, and I don't think should be in Halo, doesn't fit Halo, and it doesn't fit Master Chief. His relationship with Cortana evolves into something, I guess, romantic, but it's not lustful. It's not like, "Oh, I wish I could clap, Cortana's cheeks." I know people make jokes about that, but it's like when you're old with somebody and, you've lived with them forever and, like, they're old now. You're both old and saggy. It's not really a not really a sexual thing. It's, I get to hang out with you in the front lawn sort of thing and talk to you about life because, our looks have gone away. All we have left is our persons. It's more of a actual like love than it is like lustfulness on Master Chief's part. But here, he just has sex with the Covenant traitor. So, um, yeah, there's that. But overall, I did not enjoy this season. There's moments that I kind of liked. There's moments that are decent. Um, but I don't know. It just overall was a bad show to me. If you want more in-depth discussions, Hidden Xperia had made wonderful videos on, almost every single episode of the show, and it's really bad. Act Man, I think he's in my recommended right here. He made, I guess not. Oh, right here. He made a fantastic video on it. I don't want to, take over his video, but I thought that those videos are really good if you want further context for why this show sucks for Halo fans. Also, if anybody wants to talk to me about the show, if anybody wants to chat, join the link. But now, I'm going to start sharing specific screens specifically. So we're going to start with first discussing what the beginning of Halo's. I'm just going to borrow Ackman's video for a wee second. Just to kind of show and contrast where the series began and what the beginning of the first game kind of looked like as compared to what we see here. But yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen for a wee second to fix it. After watching the majority of this season, I'm worried about the future of these shows. Season 2, The Last of Us show. I mean, I know that the Avatar show is not going to be good, Nameless. Last of Us, I don't know. It could be fine. I mean, The Last of Us, for me, already got screwed up by its own self with The Last of Us 2 and killing off Joel. I don't have an issue with Joel himself being dead. It's more the way they went about killing him off that I thought was extremely disrespectful and an awful way of storytelling. I mean, he basically dumbed himself down so that he can get himself dead, because the Joel that we saw in the first game would never have just let random strangers in, no matter how nice they seemed. So that was one of my biggest issues was, of course, Joel. It wasn't that Joel died. It was how he died. I think the only natural progression for Joel would have been dying in the second game, but it needed to be handled significantly better. None of this, managing or subverting expectations garbage. No. Just going to see if I can share. Share. No. But yeah, really big issue for me. But let's just see a little bit of what the Ackman has to say about the first game, setting the tone and whatnot.
Why do we always have to listen to this old stuff, Sarge?
Watch your mouth, son. This stuff is your history. It should remind you grunts what we're fighting to protect.
You can learn a lot from a game, movie, from its introduction. And what Halo does at the very beginning is set the tone and establish the setting. Right off the bat, the opening cinematic is showing us what's important. This mysterious space ring, the Pillar of Autumn, and the characters on board. The music creates a sense of mystery and a foreboding atmosphere that captivates the player right away. After that, we see troops, tanks, and pelicans all preparing for battle as the music changes to reflect that. And then we see one of the greatest motivational speeches of all time.
Man, we let those dumb bugs out in the middle of nowhere to keep from getting their filthy claws on Earth. But we stumbled on to something that's so hot for that they're scrambling over each other to get it. Well, I don't care if it's God's own high son of a bitch machine or a giant hula hoop, we're not going to let them have it. What we will let them have is a belly full of lead and a pool of their own blood to drown in. Am I right, Marines?
Sir, yes, sir.
Damn right I am.
Within 3 minutes, you get the sense that this is going to be some epic sci-fi action game surrounding a mysterious ring. And that's exactly what it is. During every cutscene and minute of gameplay, Halo sets a deliberate, authentic tone and feeling through its visuals, sound design, and music. While Marty O'Donnell is our Lord and Savior, his work is impressive. The soundtrack is simply timeless. But more importantly than the music itself is the pacing. At what points do you hear which songs? Halo doesn't assault your eardrum with music playing over every second of the experience. Sometimes you don't hear anything, and that's a good thing, because it means those moments when you do hear music are much more impactful and memorable. Whether it be action-packed.
But the beginning of Halo 1 is very simple, just like episode 4 of Star Wars is simple, which isn't bad. Being simple isn't bad. But you are Spartan. The game begins with this lone ship in space, Cortana and Keyes, who's now black, by the way, in the show. Not that, that's the biggest deal, but why? What race changing is okay so long as it's to somebody of color. But if you change somebody black to white, then you're going to have bigger issues. Nameless, thank you for being the only one commenting here. Halo was at one point one of the top FPS games with a great universe, but not to point any fingers. Ever since 343 took over, the reigns have not been the same. That is fair. I will say I do like 343. I think they've dropped the ball, and I think they are working really hard to try to fix that and try to get back on the ball. Halo Infinite is not perfect. It's far from it. It's certainly not one of my favorite Halo games, but it felt more in line than perhaps Halo 4 or 5 did, though I do like Halo 4. Halo 5, not so much. That's the thing. Halo 1, it's mysterious. You got this ship running away from something. We don't really know what. We got Cortana talking to Keyes about, did they make it? What is all that? What is it? It makes you intrigued. Then we start off, the ship gets attacked. We land on we land on the Halo ring. We don't know what it's about. We learn over time. The Covenant thinks it's this way to paradise, this way to heaven, whereas you learn the truth that it is a weapon that would destroy all sentient life in the galaxy. Because we also learn about an ancient threat that cannot be destroyed and will only consume. So ancient people decided the only way to get rid of the threat was to simply get rid of themselves. Of course, there's also bigger lore within that. What you need to know that the show took a lot from, but also ignored a lot of, is that there were insurrectionists that were unhappy with the government. And so they waged a war. And with that, Halsey decides to make Spartans by kidnapping children. So this is before the Covenant even entered the picture. And that is, handled morally grayly, right? In the books. And then the Covenant show up. And so, while Halsey did something kind of evil to stop other human threats, it ended up being a really lucky thing that she did, because they were kind of the sole thing being able to really stop the Covenant. But that's Halo 1. Halo 1 is the simplest with this most simple aspect of the story. That, if the Halo show had gone straight into the Halo 1 plot, I could completely see you adding a bunch of stuff to it, because it is very simple. There's not much to it. You want to add characters. You want actors to actually be in the show, so you're going to need stuff. That I can understand, switching up, changing things, adding things, because, you need more than just what the game gives you, because it works as a game, but not if you're just watching it. But then we have other things like Halo Reach, which is slightly contradictory to the books. I'm not going to get entirely into it. I think there are ways to reconcile that. But for all those of you who have never watched or never actually played Halo, and you want to know what the actual tone of Halo is, let me introduce you to Halo Reach with some cutscenes. I'm just going to show various cutscenes to show the tone as compared to what the show gave us. So we have the first. Sorry about that. That's going to go on for a second. Ignore that. Let's get to this first scene with George on Reach. Hold on.
Find out what she knows.
What's your name? Do you live around here? I'm George.
Shada.
Shada. Se Nev. Your accent sounds familiar. Chapron?
Tangari.
Friend of yours?
Father.
Sha'ainalom. I'm sorry.
Why would you be?
Big man forgets what he is sometimes.
She just lost her father. She needs a full psychiatric workup.
She's not the only one. Lock it down, both of you.
Oh, what? They had a moment of drama between two characters and they didn't lose their crap? Sure, they raised their voices a little bit, but they stayed in line. Because they're soldiers? Which is another problem with modern day Trek and stuff. They're supposed to be military officers and they all act like teenager brats. That's another thing. But yeah, there's this scene. Already 1 minute, or like not even 1 minute, like 40 seconds. You got a better tone, you got a better feel than all of the show gave us. How about another one? How about Halsey herself in this scene in Reach? Get to it. Let me skip ahead to it.
Require is a detailed account of your previous engagement. George, it's been too long.
Mom,
What have you done with my armor?
just some additions I've made.
Indeed. Visegrad Relay. Its data center was home to one of my xenoarchaeologists, Professor Laszlo Sorvad. Perhaps you could shed some light on his death.
If he was a civilian male in his mid-60s, he died with a Covenant energy sword through his abdomen.
Elites, then.
They engaged us as well. It was just after we found your scientist's daughter, Mom. She was hiding in the...
Irrelevant. The elites. Tell me more about them.
3, Zealot class. One got by us. The leader, from the looks of him.
Zealots. You're certain?
Their armor configuration matched.
Shield strength too.
I gave the order not to pursue. Our primary objective was to get the station's relay back online.
Your primary objective, Commander, are you a puppet or a Spartan?
Ma'am?
There are those at ONI, myself included, who believe the Covenant dispatch elite advanced teams to hunt down artifacts of value to their religion. Survivor...
But like, just the writing in these games as compared to the show you watched. What do you prefer? Take notes, show. This scene. Remember, this game does not include Master Chief at all. You know, the titular character of Halo. You think Halo, you think Master Chief. This game does not include Master Chief. And yet this game, without having him, hits emotionally harder than the show has in its entirety of its first season. Let me show you what I mean.
Yeah. Bad news is, timer's fried. I'm gonna have to fire it manually.
That's a one-way trip.
We all make it sooner or later. Better get going, Six. They're gonna need you down there. Listen, Reach has been good to me. Time has come to return the favor. Don't deny me this. Tell him to make it count.
And the music in these games. Even in 343. worst part about this scene? That sacrifice meant nothing. It didn't help at all. Not really. And that's the depressing atmosphere that one game gives you. Without Master Chief, the titular character. See, these are the things that could have been done within the show. We didn't even need Master Chief in that first season. It could have been entirely about new characters, or the Reach characters, expand upon them maybe. You could have given us the fall of Reach. Make it feel Band of Brothers-esque. Make that weight, make that meaning, so that when we get to the season 2 with the fun Master Chief, it means something. And not have all the bullcrap they included. Let's show some more scenes, huh? Of what the show could have been. These characters, they don't get too much development. They get enough, I think, but they don't get a lot of adult development. And yet you care about each and every one of them. Okay, maybe more so some of them than others. But you at least feel something when their life passes. When did you ever feel a strong emotion? A strong emotional reaction to anything other than disappointment and rage when watching the Halo TV show? Do you see what I mean? Do you see what this show could have been and could have meant to so many people? But instead, it's nothing. Nameless says, setting a message and pandering course is not the primary purpose of today's stories. Having proper stories is what takes the backseat, unfortunately. Exactly. You even have a wonderful female character within this game alone, in Halo Reach specifically. Because, I mean, the female characters in that show were fine, I guess, but they're, they're overly emotional, just like every show has to be now, because nobody can be professional. But
not anymore. Hey, you made it.
It's a regular family reunion. Keep him. He gave him to you. I'll honor him my own way.
George always said he would never leave Reach.
see, these scenes are short. They're not super duper long. Most of what you're doing is the gameplay. But in these little interactions, we get so much between these different characters, seeing their dynamics, seeing like their personalities come through. Like they have history. They existed before you started playing. And like, you don't have to do like a scene for scene remake of the book, The Fall of Reach, or this game. You could do your own thing since it's not canon, right? But it doesn't have to be the plot of the games necessarily or the books, but it has to feel like the same universe. It has to hit the same emotional beats. And this show has failed to do that. Hello. Sorry, my freaking mic broke again because it keeps breaking, and I don't know why. You can still hear me, right? um, Halo Reach is a great story. Begin the game as a lone wolf, learning to be a part of a team, and by the end of it, you arrive back to where you began, a lone soldier, and not by choice. Exactly. This game, well, I didn't know these characters long. When I played it and I lost all them one by one, maybe I didn't have like several hours of development with them, but I felt something when they died. Good. Good, good. But that's the thing. I'm just gonna keep going though. I really want to compare like all the best writing scenes, even in 343, as compared to what we showed. So for all the people that have never seen Halo that watch this archived, because I really only have Nameless right now. Nameless also, I don't know if you'd like to talk, but if you want to come on, I left a link at the beginning of the stream. You're free to show up if you want to. But I just want to compare and contrast. Like when you watch the Paramount TV show, compare it to what I'm showing you now. If you haven't played the games, and tell me what you think is better and what you think about the potential that could have been had for a Halo TV show. We could have had such amazing things.
The big man was sentimental.
He gave his life thinking he'd just saved the planet. We should all be so lucky.
Sir, that true about Gauntlet Red and Echo teams assigned to civilian evac ops?
Those are senior level community.
The planet reaches being glass, by the way, which means that they're just like basically using the equivalent of nukes with their, lasers shooting the planet. Everything like looks like hellfire right now and stuff, just for context. Alrighty, fair enough. But yeah, feel free to. Continuing on.
Communicate.
I hear what I hear. Point is, why put Spartans on defensive?
See, this girl's pretty cool, and I'll show you later some of the trailers we have for Reach and stuff, where we get to see her do stuff. She's super cool, but she's also not like, I don't know, overly emotional. Like she seems like a soldier. Equal
I
to
need
the men.
that link to SATCOM Cat.
Chasing it. But this console's got more shrapnel in it than transceivers. You didn't answer my question.
You want to know if we're losing?
I know we're losing. I want to know if we've lost. Colonel Holland, hailing us. What's he doing on an open channel?
Let's hear it.
In the southwest quadrant of the city. Over. Sierra 25.
None of this really matters. I just want to show like more of their interactions that they have.
Carter here.
Reason.
Radiation flare. Big. 40 million root guns.
Just lost Holland. What's going on?
Atomic excitement scrambled the signal. 90 million now.
Source?
Airborne. Close.
How close?
That close! First glassing? Me too. Don't worry, I'm on it. Our best option is a fallout bunker on sub-level 2, 96 meters northeast. We get orders from Holland, sir?
We're being redeployed to Sword Base.
Sword? Covenant own it now!
Which is why they want us for a torch and burn op. Keep Dr. Halsey's excavation data from falling into enemy hands.
If it hasn't already.
Maybe, but according to Holland, the Covenant are still hunting for something.
Where does he get off calling a demolition a priority one?
Come on, get in!
Let's go! Come on!
Close the doors! Faster!
And there you go, an example of being sudden and kind of, if I dare use the term, subverting expectations, but not really at all, because the game's been kind of having this vibe the whole time. It's a hopeless vibe, at least for most of it till the end, where you are the means for that hope for the next subsequent games chronologically. But one by one, your teammates, as freaking Nameless said. You know, one by one, all your teammates go away. And you don't get a lot of time with them, but enough time for when this finally happens, you care. And again, I ask, did you ever feel anything for anybody in that show? Because I didn't. Anyway, that's that scene. I only have one more for Reach before I show some of the freaking trailers. And then I want to get into Halo 2, which had the best writing in the entire franchise. And I those Covenant scenes were not much in the show. And I want to compare that to the stuff that we heard in the Halo 2 game. Because by golly, that's just some Shakespearean gold there. Here we have the epilogue to Halo Reach. What's up? How you doing, X-Wing? I don't think I've ever seen you over here. How are you?
It didn't take long for Reach to fall. Our enemy was ruthless, efficient, but they weren't nearly fast enough. For you had already passed the torch, and because of you, we found Halo, unlocked its secrets, shattered our enemy's resolve.
No, well, good to see you. Yeah, I don't work today. I work every other day except for Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, but yeah, the Halo TV show finished, so I decided to talk about it, and I kind of did. Now I'm just trying to compare what we got to what we could have had, because there was so much potential with the Halo TV show to be like a band of brothers type of show, but sci-fi, and because it didn't even have to be about Master Chief, because Halo Reach the game didn't have Master Chief, but you still felt all these emotions towards these characters. And I'm the resident Legends Star Wars fan, but even I'll admit that the whole Rogue One movie, it had a similar vibe. It wasn't as depressing as Halo Reach gets, but it's hello. I'll add. Hello.
What's up, dude?
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm chilling, man. I wanted to get in on this conversation.
Oh, sure. Bring it on. I thought I was going to be talking about myself the whole time. So.
Well, I think it is interesting, man, because I think it did. Are you pretty deep into the lore for Halo?
I'm not. I'm going to delve into it more. I've read Contact Harvest. I've read bits of the Fall of Reach because I'm really a stickler about chronology. So since it jumps in time, I have to go back and forth with different stories. But I'm also reading Star Wars, so it gets in the way because that's my primary focus right now. But I have watched a lot of lore videos, so I know like the gist of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, does this show, because I'm not into it at all, I watched the show and I just feel like while watching it, I could feel the anger of like hardcore Halo fans just seething through the TV.
Yeah. Well, because like, as I said in the beginning of the stream, I'll say it's decently written, and I think all the actors do a fine job. I don't think they're horrible at it, but if you're gonna call it Halo, you can change the story because I know it's not canon. So that's like the opposite problem I had with the Disney Star Wars is when Disney bought the rights, they said, oh, your 30 plus years of books and stuff, that doesn't count. Only our stuff does. Where the opposite of this is saying, oh no, all that stuff does matter. You're the stuff that you love does count. This is just a fun side thing, which is why I try to be less harsh about it. But for general audiences that don't play video games, this is gonna be their first introduction to Halo. So if you're gonna make the story different, it needs to at least emotionally hit the same beat and have similar themes. And this whole first season, there's none of that. It feels like a CW show with Arrow and the Flash.
Yeah, it does have a CW kind of feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting
like,
you say that.
And most of the episodes, like, has Master Chief just chilling on Reach doing nothing.
Yeah.
And if we're not following him doing nothing, we're following Kwan Ha, who, you know, the actress does an okay job, but I don't care about that character. It's not what I come to watch a Halo TV show about.
Yeah.
And I saw Saren's really cool, but I said earlier in the stream, there's nothing to mess up with Saren because there was, I think, one short story with him in one of the anthology short stories collection books for Halo. And so you have a lot of room to work with there to do whatever you want with. So that's why I was like, every time he showed up, I was like, man, the show's actually fun when he's around. But
I just thought it was an interesting take for them to, like, man, they didn't pull any punches. They didn't use any lube. They just immediately, like, helmet off. By the way, here's Master Chief. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I even tried to be fair with it because in the first episode, Kwan Ha, she would not listen. Because all she saw was this armored soldier robot person.
Yeah.
She had no way to like empathize. So I was like, okay, I'm not the biggest fan of Mandalorian. I know you and 2 Star Wars nerds and everything have talked about Mandalorian stuff. And even with that, I appreciate at least that, that he keeps his helmet on. And with this show, it's more essential that he does because that's who Master Chief is. And if he's going to take off his helmet, it has to mean something. And I was like, with that first episode, I was like, okay, at least it's because he's trying to get this girl to listen to him and understand him. And so if he shows that he's a human underneath, maybe she'll be more compliant. I was like, okay, well, there's a big reason for him to do that. But then subsequently, every other episode, he took it off, which just made that first episode's reveal irrelevant.
Right. Yeah.
Because if he does it every episode, what does it matter if he takes it off in the first?
Yep.
So that's a lot of my. Like I said, it's an okay show. It's not Halo.
Right.
Like it has the paint. It looks like it. Like the suits look really good. When the action scenes do show up sparingly, they're really cool. But
I thought that battle was great. The little cover battle. Yeah, that was killer.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty good. I will say, I get that they're Spartans, but like Master Chief just kind of like sat there instead of like ducking and weaving and stuff, and he just kind of took it. I'm like, okay, but I did like that final battle though. So I mean, props to all the fight scenes. I thought all the fight scenes they did have, which was like, I don't know, 4 total, were really cool. Okay, I guess there's the ones with Saren and stuff, but the ones with Master Chief in his armor. So that's another thing. I didn't like the whole Iron Man showing me his face inside the helmet. It's like 90% of the show he has his face off or his face on. Can I just see him with his freaking helmet on doing stuff? Like, why? It felt like they did every chance they possibly could to not have him like in his armor, and that was my biggest issue with it.
Or naked in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, naked. Yeah, and his inhibitor chips, which weren't a thing either. It was like a kind of like a TCW thing, but like but just to control his emotions. But he still showed emotions in previous episodes before he removed it. So I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's a really mixed bag because there's parts of it I really like in the show, and there's parts of it where I'm like, but why? And like I get that it's not canon, but if you're gonna change things, it needs to be because it's better than the source material or because it serves your story.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like there was ever a justifiable reason for the changes they made. But what about you overall?
It's one of those ones where it's tough because I don't know the lore, how to judge it correctly.
That's fair.
But having said that, at the same time, it does have kind of this, it has a kind of not cobbled together. What's the word? It's like
rushed.
Yeah. It's like kind of unprofessional, I guess would be like the writing just seems a little junior to me.
Yeah. Like in the Fall of Reach book, it talks about, and it shows it, that it's gray and stuff, but that when they were kids, they were stolen from their homes and replaced with Flash clones. However, they weren't like ignorant of this. The show, for some reason, makes them like find this out as if this is new. And in the lore, they just they knew that they were stolen, but they made peace with it because they kind of made like being a Spartan like this sort of honor because they're being
Yeah.
used to help, the universe or whatever. Also, originally the reason that the Spartans even existed was simply to stop insurrectionists who were going against the government. So kind of like rebels in Star Wars, they were making the Spartans for that purpose, and it
Yep.
just so happened that the Covenant showed up and we're like, oh well, we have superpowered people, so that works out in our favor. But I don't know why they decided to make it like this whole big secret that they didn't know about. I guess just for drama. But that's also another thing is that in the games they address it, but only after 3 games of the generic, oh, you're the good guy, here's the bad guy, defeat them. And that works because you've been like, I've been working with the military for 3 games now. They seem like the good guys. Now you deconstruct and show that, oh, maybe they're not so perfect.
Yeah.
But they just kind of give you that all in season 1. So where do you go from there besides just doing like the original game story and then you're done?
And I mean, that's kind of what we're headed towards, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the original game with them going to Halo, but
Yeah.
also they already mentioned that Halo's a weapon with that black guy,
Right.
and that crazy black guy, which you're
Yeah.
not supposed to know that. You're supposed to go to the plant or go to the Halo ring, be like completely awestruck by it. Like, what is this thing? What is it? What is its purpose? And the Covenant think it's going to get them to heaven or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
they
later
find
on,
out.
you learn that it's going to destroy all life in the galaxy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll watch season 2 just because I'm not as invested in the Halo lore like I am in Star Wars, so I can, I guess, stomach it more. But like, I see the flaws everywhere.
Exactly. That's how I felt too. Yeah, for sure. Well, I just wanted to pop in and say what's up, man.
No.
I gotta
It
get
was
back
nice
to
to
work,
see
but-
you.
Yeah, nice to
Alrighty.
see you too, man. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. Alrighty. Well, back to showing the contrast. We have the ending to Halo Reach.
Victory.
Actually, let me,
Your victory.
since it's been a bit, let me go back to, where was it? Ooh. I don't know where it stops. Okay.
It didn't take long for Reach to fall. Our enemy was ruthless, efficient, but they weren't nearly fast enough. For you had already passed the torch, and because of you, we found Halo, unlocked its secrets, shattered our enemy's resolve. Our victory, your victory, was so close. I wish you could have lived to see it. But you belong to Reach. Your body, your armor, all burned and turned to glass. Everything. Except your courage. That you gave to us. And with it, we can rebuild.
And while a depressing game, it leads to hope. As our sacrifice led to, the original trilogy happening. So, but again, this game doesn't even involve Master Chief, and yet you feel for the characters involved, which is really good. And they could have done something like that for the Halo show. For example, here we get some of the live action trailers for the freaking, what are they for? We got Birth of a Spartan from Reach and ODST. ODST is like the spin-off game that takes place like during 2 and the beginning of 3. And so they gave us some live action little excerpts for what the games would be like. And already the potential from this alone, as compared to what we saw. Oh my goodness. Strike. Hello there. Hello there. Frick the Halo series. Amen. Oh my goodness. By the way, Strike has a wonderful YouTube channel. For anybody that's subscribed to me that's not subscribed to him, you should do so. Along with, he has a co-host channel with Aiden called Star Wars Remnants. So you should all check that out. If you know what, Frick, hold on a second. One moment. Let me just, for self-promotion here for Star Wars Remnants. Let me just put a little link in the chat here for anybody who cares. Let me look up channels. Channels, Star Wars Remnants. Ooh, no, I need that. Thank you. All right, let's do channels. There we go. Let's get a random video here. Let's get the Darth Maul one, I guess. And let's put that in the chat. Because this channel is cool. And it should be checked out. No problem, man. Here you go. This is the channel in the chat. You guys should check it out if you get the chance. It's very awesome. Also, Strike, if you're not busy, you are more than welcome to join the stream, because otherwise I'm just talking to myself, and I will relieve, because it was a while ago that I did it. I'll relieve this link in case you want to. If you're busy, no problem, absolutely. But here is a link to join the stream if you are so inclined, but you don't have to. But yeah, right now I just want to go over some of the live action trailers we had for the games themselves to compare them again to what we got in the show. And again, the show does not have to be like the games, but the heart of it, the core of it, the themes of it, they need to be shown within the show, and I didn't feel that at all.
Hey, what's up? I think you muted yourself.
You are right, I did. Oopsie doopsie. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Oh, we got, man, all the people are joining. Alrighty.
What's up?
How you doing?
Hell yeah.
Pretty decent.
I just promoted your channel, so
I saw that. Yeah, very much appreciate that.
no problem. It's very cool. So
Thank
I'm very close to the Force Unleashed. So I was like, it kind of like stars align there, because I have the 80s droids show and comics that were tie-ins, and then the Ewoks 80s cartoon, and then after that, I think I have the first 80s Han Solo book, and then I got the Force Unleashed game chronologically. So I'm really excited to play that again, because I haven't played it since I was in middle school. So
Man, grinding away.
I am
for real.
I would be doing that right now, but I was like, oh, it was the last episode of the Halo show, then I got to talk about it. And now I'm just kind of comparing, contrasting with what we actually have as compared to what we saw. But before I continue on with like the trailers and stuff, have you guys seen it?
I have not seen the entire series.
I have not.
I mean, I was already like cautiously optimistic when the news broke about it not tying into the old canon quotation marks.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I was not really looking forward to it to begin with, because I thought, what's the point if it's not a tie-in to the universe I love? So but I watched some bits here and there through other people, and it just didn't do it for me.
Yeah, Master Cheeks.
Yeah, Master Cheeks.
Yeah, I'm kind of like repeating myself a lot, but I think one of my biggest issues is it just doesn't feel like Halo. It's there's certain emotional themes and beats you want to kind of hit, and it didn't really do that.
Yeah.
And it felt very unprofessional too.
one thing also that I had an immense problem with, because a lot of people were like, well, at least the action was good.
Yeah.
But honestly, it feels so just light. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Nothing feels like heavy or
Yeah,
that it has
real.
any impact. It doesn't feel real. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the point. Like all of the live action like trailers, because like I'm really glad you bring this up, because a lot of people are like, well, this is the first like live action project, like it can't be like the game. Like honestly, fuck off. Sorry, can I
No,
cuss?
you
I
can
usually
cuss.
do it. Okay.
No, you're good.
You're gonna do it anyways.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, but no, like, I mean, besides the trailers, like recently we rewatched Forward Unto Dawn. I don't know if you've seen that one. Like, amazing movie in my
Yeah.
opinion. I really love that.
Mm.
And all of those have something aligned with each other. That is, they heavily concentrate on realism. Like, oftentimes
Yeah.
it really, the way it's shot, especially the trailers, it's oftentimes like going into like production of like like all those weapons
Yeah.
and all those vehicles, and the guns feel like guns. I don't know, like for instance, like when Chief fires his rifle, it just, I don't know,
Yeah.
it doesn't like the sound just doesn't feel like it has any impact.
Yeah.
Like none of it feels
Feels
like it would
weightless.
actually hurt. I don't
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's weightless. It's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. They're all cartoons shooting each other.
Yeah.
And but yeah, also the thing is, it's like Master Chief spends like the entire show like on the base or for most of it, and it's I just why? And then like when we were off planet, it was with Kwan Ha, who I'm sorry,
Yeah.
she's an okay actress. I don't care about her at all.
Well, and the other thing that really bothers me about like the entire plot of it is Chief is just an outright traitor. I mean,
yeah.
And I'm not even going to say Chief, because that's not Chief. Master
It's not
Chief.
Master
He's an
Chief.
outright
Master Chief.
traitor. Like we have a storyline in the current lore where Chief doesn't abide rules or his command,
Because he's trying to
but he
find
does it
Cortana.
because he doesn't like fight against like the UNSC. He
Yeah.
does.
He just goes on like a rogue mission.
Yeah, he goes on a rogue mission, right? But that's something totally different. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'll be right back.
That's okay. Alrighty. But did you watch it, Aiden, or just hear people talk about it?
Pretty much just hear people talk about it. I'm not a huge. I played the games and I loved them. And once I heard about the stuff that's coming out about the TV show, I was like, no way. I'm not gonna watch this.
Yeah,
no way.
Yeah, I'm not big into the lore. I've watched like a lot of lore videos, but I plan on reading a lot more Halo books once I kind of finish my Star Wars binge. But that's gonna be a while. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like, and the show dives into the whole UNSC being like evil and whatnot, which is fine, but it seems a bit much to do it now, because the games waited like 3 games to address the Oni side of things with Halo 4. And that was only briefly touched upon.
Yeah.
But like you want to have like the army be like the stereotypical good guys first, and then dive into the fact that they're not perfect. I guess.
I agree.
Because then you have the surprise, like, oh, these are the heroes that we've been fighting side by side with for all these games or for all the seasons, and then you learn, oh, maybe they're not so perfect. Because also another thing is that they had the whole like, oh, I didn't know that I was kidnapped, but in the lore they did know. They just kind of accepted it and like found it kind of an honor to be a Spartan. And so I just don't know why they changed so many things. Like, I get if it helps the story, but nothing they did I felt enhanced anything.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
They're not even doing anything that really ties into the story at all.
No, he just has sex with this freaking Covenant girl, which doesn't even make sense because the Covenant don't like humans. But
exactly.
I mean, I guess they kind of redeemed it by the final episode, because they're like, oh yeah, she's not getting to heaven. We're just using her. We'll betray her once we can, which I guess that's fair. Another thing is Mercy acts a lot like Truth in the show, which I found really bizarre. Because Truth is like the genius that's like manipulating everything, isn't really a believer. He's just kind of using it for power. Whereas the other two seem a lot more actually religious. And so I don't know why they changed that as well. It just seemed like an unnecessary change. But whatever. But yeah, I'm just
I
gonna
mean-
play some. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, yeah,
I was just saying. I mean, even from watching, like, even from some of the stuff I've seen, like, even like the people like Dr. Hall, she's just kind of outright evil.
Yeah.
She's not even like that in the game.
Yeah, to be fair, this is also a controversial thing, I guess, within the lore, because it's also a controversial thing in Star Wars, because there are these Republic Commando books written by Karen Traviss in Star Wars, and she also wrote some stuff post New Jedi Order in the Legends timeline. And people are very 50-50 with her work. Some people really love her, some people don't. And she wrote some books in the Halo universe as well, and she kind of portrayed Halsey more evil as well, even though it's more of a government fault. They're the ones that condoned her for doing all that stuff. She's supposed to be more of a morally gray character. Oh, hello. We're just talking about Halsey and how she's kind of like just straight out evil.
Yeah, hated.
Yeah, she's
absolutely
outright
hated
evil.
how they
Yeah,
do it
it's
in the show.
garbage.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the actress does a fine job, I
Oh,
guess, but she's
yeah.
also far too young.
Yeah.
Also,
Dr. Hall
like
is like an old woman.
she's also like kind of British. Why isn't Cortana British then in the show?
Why is
Doesn't make
Cortana not blue?
Yeah, it's another thing. She has like flesh color. And
Yeah.
Why isn't she blue?
I mean, I don't actually. I would correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if they changed that. But I know in the trailer, I mean, it was literally flesh colored and husky Cortana, with the different eye colors.
Literally.
Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, I don't know what this
seriously.
is. I don't know what that's all about. Yeah, it's weird.
And a lot of weird things. It's not only that.
Yeah, no, it's a whole lot of things. It's the master
Yeah.
cheeks all the time, and
Uh-huh.
I think that's my biggest thing that I get upset about. Is just that he's outside the suit so much. Like, why even give us the suit if you just use every opportunity? Like, even when he's in combat, he'll like take off his helmet for some reason. It's like if you're going to hostile territory, you leave your damn suit on, right?
Yeah.
You take it off when
It's-
like maybe when you know that stuff's secure, but I don't know.
Right. Even from just a like logical mindset kind of type situation, you wouldn't take it off. And then if you go farther back into what Chief's character is about, then you wouldn't ever take it off. I'm just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just going to show some of the live action trailers to kind of compare.
Hell
and
yeah.
contrast.
Go for it.
Earlier, I was talking about, or I was showing a bunch of clips from Halo Reach because I wanted to show like the show didn't even have to be about Master Chief. You could have made it. And it didn't have to be
dude.
about Noble Team either.
Yes.
It could have been
Dude,
like any
yeah.
Spartan team and have the same similar vibe of the hopelessness.
I always thought it would have been a great idea to do something like Red Team, from like Halo Wars. Like,
Yeah.
I thought they were like, they had like a really interesting storyline. I thought, and probably like besides Blue Team, honestly, my favorite like team of Spartans. But yeah, like because a lot of people are like, well, it's so difficult to have a chief like story in this timeline with the games and everything. Well, honestly, so many fans out there have played the games, and most of them are essentially almost like a movie. So there would have been no problem with any fan at all if you would have chosen to do a story with Red Team, which have by far not as much representation in the Halo universe as Chief. So they would have had way more freedom with their story and could have honestly done a lot of their own stuff. But
yeah, because it doesn't have to be beat for beat the same story, but you got to have the same similar themes and stuff. And having the Band of Brothers type feel that I feel that Reach has, where you have like this hopelessness that goes on where you lose every single member of your team.
Noble
and they don't
Team,
get
hell yeah.
They don't get a lot of screen time, but it's enough for you to feel something when they die. I feel nothing for any of the characters in this show.
Imagine they would have done a story before Reach about Noble Team and like before
so you care about
as
them?
a player joined their squad, like before that, like their sort of relationship. That I think like stories like that. I mean, that's essentially what Halo Forward Unto Dawn was in a way. Like it was Chief before we even see him in the first game. Like that is like a young Chief. It's Lasky when he was still a boy.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. That can be really. You can do that really well and flesh out like characters. In a way that doesn't affect the later story in that sense.
Yeah. And but yeah, I tried to be less judgmental of the show because I knew it was non-canon. But
Yeah.
still, because I know that a lot of people don't play video games, and this is going to be their first introduction really to Halo.
Yeah,
it misses
not
the bar.
Halo. It's
Yeah.
sort of
Horrible
it's sort of the Last Jedi argument. Like people that watched those movies first and are like, "Oh, I love this. This is Star Wars." Like, no, it's like
No, it's
it's
not.
not. It's not.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm glad you enjoy it, but it's
right.
it's
I'm glad
not.
you enjoyed it, but you gotta look at what came first and made this Star Wars.
Like,
and-
I'll even admit that The Last Jedi, if it had nothing to do with Star Wars, might be a decent film, but because it is in another person's universe, like that's the thing with like the expanding universe and stuff, is that if you're gonna come into somebody else's playground, you have to abide by the rules set, or if you're gonna play with somebody else's toys, you gotta be respectful of that person's property. And so you gotta be gentle with it and caring with it as you play with it. And that I felt that's what the expanding universe did a lot with its stories, but the sequels just, I don't know, they don't care about what George created, and they want to subvert expectations and change things because the movies aren't smart enough on their own, and we have to one up them or something. Or that's what I felt Rian Johnson was trying to do. And I don't want to get into it.
They want to derail the yeah. Let's continue.
Sorry, we could do a whole thing on that some other time. But yeah, I think this is a young I forget his name, but the leader of the Noble team in this trailer. Also, you guys are free to jibe in whenever, and that's fine. I won't get upset or anything.
Okay.
That looks painful.
Oh, I saw that as a. Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm good.
And all the music in these games are stellar. Even in 343's games.
Yeah. Nice.
Gotta love those reflection shots.
Yeah.
Welcome to Noble Team. Hell yeah.
I think this is We Are ODST. For Halo ODST.
Another story they could have expanded upon.
On the ODSTs.
ODST level, yeah. The military aspect also very much like concentrated on being realistic.
Yeah.
Or based on things we know how military works.
Which helped ground it, even though it's sci-fi.
Exactly. Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who would die to play a level like where you literally drop in like this? I mean,
yeah. Yeah, we got that in Halo ODST. That's how the
I
game
know.
started,
Like
but...
that was.
And we could have had this in the show, but we just have Master Cheeks floundering around the base for like 6 episodes.
I don't want to follow orders. I'm the Master Chief.
Yeah, I don't want to follow orders.
Yeah, but this is dope. I always loved it. Yeah.
This looks better than the show.
It does.
Yeah, the show looks video gamey with the creatures, with the Covenant.
It just looks so stupid. The show.
2 minutes and I already care about these people more than I do anybody in the show.
Anybody else in the fucking show.
And you already have such a greater sense of camaraderie.
Yeah.
This feels like brotherhood.
We are ODST.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I mean,
I think this is
I
another
love
trailer.
this one.
Yeah, this is another trailer for Reach, I think.
Yep. The music kills me every time in this.
And it looks so good.
Yeah. It has weight to it.
And there's no fucking talking. And you
Yeah.
already feel every single emotion the people want you to feel.
The music
same
and the
thing that,
visuals do the work.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the same thing that Order 66 does in episode 3.
Yes.
Pretty
The
much.
same similar like vibe.
The POV shot.
They do POV shots in the show too, but they're really cheesy and stupid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have the visor. It's more of like, when you have like officers when they have like cams on like things that move around a lot, so it's like shaky.
Yeah.
So it just looks more realistic then.
Yeah.
It seems like it's an actual recording.
Yeah. Oh, and one other thing, like another thing is that the Covenant in the show are like barely present, and every important character is on this like the main base on Reach, and I'm like, this is supposed to be a galaxy-spanning war. Why is every important character in one place? Like this feels like this is a conflict,
Especially because they obviously don't care about what the actual time frame is, but in the time frame we would be technically at right now with like some of the events that I do know about in the show. I mean, we would be in a time where they would want to avoid that the Covenant is even slightly able to find or attack Reach and then farther find Earth. Because of that, and because the Covenant ships are that much stronger than the UNSC ships, oftentimes the ships would freaking just abandon fights and jump into uncalculated slip space and just go be scattered across the roam, and so it just completely doesn't make sense that everyone's there.
Yeah, because the hyperspace. I mean, I know it's not hyperspace in this universe, but it's a lot slower than it is in Star Wars. It's not. It's still faster than real life, but it feels more realistic in the times of it takes a couple weeks to get somewhere,
right?
Instead of a couple days.
Exactly, so but in this time frame, they would literally be, if they don't have a massive, if they are not able to overwhelm one Covenant ship, they would randomly go into slip space and abandon the battle. And so at this time, literally the entire fleet is just all over the place. So
yeah, it makes no sense, and it should feel like there should be weight bearing down the depressing nature of how the Covenant are winning right now.
Yes, exactly.
Until Master Chief shows
humanity
up
is losing at this
yeah,
point.
That's supposed to be the feeling you get.
Yeah.
But if I just watch the show, I'd have no idea that the Covenant is that much of a threat. Because
exactly.
It never seems like that. Because they don't spend any time.
Problem.
It's a huge problem because it doesn't vibe with the themes and emotions you should be feeling from this universe. But I'll continue the trailer.
Yeah. You can join us.
You can.
Join us or die.
Like Puppy. I sent you guys a link so you can check it out.
It's kind of like at the end of that Halo movie, the one that we watched, and he's like, It's like, oh yeah, you guys are the only survivors, and he's like, wait, we're seriously we're the only survivors on the base. And he's
Yeah.
like, no, the
On
only
the
survivors
planet.
on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's like the Covenant wiped out the entire planet in less than a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
and I think if I remember correctly, the Spartan we just saw is the one that we in the campaign of Reach. His place is the one we take in as the player because he sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
I think. If I
And then you have to learn,
correctly.
and then you have to learn to work with the team because your character's a lone wolf. And then once you get used to that team, they all get taken away from you.
They all die, yeah, and it
Yeah.
just makes it so much more heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
anyway,
you don't get that much. You don't get that much time with those characters. It's a very select amount of time you give with them, but it's enough that you care when
I can't
they.
believe they didn't like, because what I've seen is like the sort of relationship Chief has with his Spartan team is very bland, like, you know, very cliche. You know, like, he's the traitor, like, I gotta follow orders, the one is questioning it, one is on his side, and it's like, wow, like, claps, like, props to the plot, wow, like, nobody saw that one coming.
And it's just basically blue team.
It's
Except
essentially blue team, but let's make it silver team and a bit shittier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it hurts, you know?
It
I
does,
mean,
yeah.
obviously you can always say like, yeah, it's not canon. Obviously it is not canon. But the fact that they, you know, I feel like things like this are supposed to be for the fans. Like, a live action adaptation is something that means a lot to a lot of people that played the games, because it's just a way to experience the universe and on the big screen without having to play through it, which
And showing
obviously
people
has its
that
value
aren't into,
too. But
and showing people who don't care about video games the story in another
right, the
format.
story and how beautiful it is, and the fact that they just completely ignore or don't bother to do the research that is needed to write a good story, to do that, it just hurts. It hurts.
There's no reason why they can. There's no reason why they can.
Yeah, they just chose not to.
But I mean, in a way, it's literally the meme of like first time, like the Star Wars fans, like your first time.
Yeah,
like at the hanging. Yeah.
But at least with Halo, you have the true universe continuing forward.
Right. They. Yeah. That's 100. That's the only thing that is like keeping me sane at the moment, is the fact that like it is officially not canon. That's like the only thing that's like keeping me sane at the moment.
Yeah. But
But let's continue.
Yeah, Halo Landfall, so much cooler than what we got. Oh, don't need to. Is it? Oh, there we go.
This one. Yep, I remember. Is that the one with the ODSTs and the package?
I think so.
I think this was like probably the most like heavily like trying to be realistic. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean with like the factories,
Oh,
like
right, that
mass
looks so
production
cool.
of the weapons. Yeah.
This is so cool.
Like, look at all of this. Like, the
That's another
Warthog.
thing. Oh, that's another thing. The freaking vehicles in the show, they look like they're like normal vehicles that they just put some paint on. Which I'm like, I get it, you know, like making an actual like vehicle or whatever would be expensive, but like it looks so cheap. And then they keep using like modern day weapons.
But
I mean, another bother.
Yeah, like the AK-47s and shit.
I mean, they still have those in the Halo universe, but like if you're gonna show them, then you want to show like the actual like sci-fi weapons to compare and contrast the different.
Right.
But I just see a lot of the normal weapons in the show, and I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
It's-
And the other
it's a
thing is, I mean,
sci-fi show.
this was like 81 million, was it, for the series?
I think so, something like that.
And
They had
like
a lot of
Halo
money.
Forward Unto Dawn had warthogs, had the weapons, had the actual props, not just the, you know, like where you need to put CGI above it and then forget it and then it looks shitty.
Yeah.
Like the actual props, they made physical stuff to wield around, and I think it
Yeah.
was like, hold on, let me check. Like, okay, so
Yeah.
Halo series budget was, oh no, never mind. It was 90 to 200 million.
Oh my goodness.
Like between 90 and 200 million was the budget of this series, and Halo Forward Unto Dawn, I believe, was like 10. Yeah, 10 million. And their shit looked so much better. And they had CGI. I mean, they had Chief. They had the Covenant models. Like, everything. And
yeah. And they just have
Yeah.
10 million and they didn't use any of
they
it
could,
effectively.
yeah. I mean, they could have built probably like 20 warthogs that were
Or 200 million,
accurate.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. But yeah, no, I love this.
Yeah, it's
I
really
like the
cool.
whole factory scene and everything.
Yeah, it looks really neat.
Ah, nice. See, simple shit like this already,
Yeah.
like, you know, love it.
That looks so good.
Yeah. The Magnum. Yes, come to me. Pelican.
Oh yeah.
Glorious. Love it.
Finish the fight.
Ooh, yeah, I think this... yeah, this is the one.
Yeah.
This is like hyper realistic.
Yeah. This one really
Like that one
I
is
love this.
gritty. Like
This one's dope.
yeah. Roots.
Chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the one with the package. Yeah.
Package retreat. Need immediate evac. Over. Package retreat. Roger that, team.
You know, sometimes shaky cam can be like sort of like
effective.
Yeah, like I think in this case it really like helps to sell the realism. Like if someone was actually there filming it, he would be shaking all around. So.
Yeah, he would.
I mean, aliens trying to kill you.
Yeah. Explosions everywhere, even just in a normal war.
Yeah.
You'd be shaking.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, like this cam, like from inside the vehicle.
And that's like a real vehicle too.
Yeah, that is a real warthog.
That they made for this.
With the freaking minigun on top, yeah.
I'm hit. Fuck you up.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Uh-huh.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that one was gritty. I think there's more stuff happening.
Okay, got it.
Ward, don't you dare. This is not what you're going to get in the show.
Yeah, no. This is not what the show looks like.
If you like this, you're not going to like the show.
Yeah, basically.
If you like this, then I'm sorry, because the show's gonna disappoint you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looks gritty.
Just get this thing out of me now. Can you do your job? Yeah. Hey, what's the situation? Almost out of ammo, sir. We have to pull back. Negative.
And stuff like this is like the reason I really like the show Band of Brothers, because it felt like this.
Every shot. Imagine not having infinite ammo.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
Oh, even the sniper rifle is that accurate.
And that sounds like it hits.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's got some serious pushback.
oh yeah, this. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember.
Hold still.
Oh.
Ah!
Yeah. Oh, imagine. You're just stuck to the wall.
Yeah.
Oh.
Target acquired.
Sierra 1. That voice kind of sounds like the clones in Tartakovsky Clone Wars.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, I can see that.
It's just fucking brutal.
Yeah. And you actually feel things watching it.
Uh-huh.
This carries more emotional weight than the entire sequel trilogy.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, he gets blown up.
Dude, that dude is gone.
He's gone, yeah.
Every atom.
That dude hit the gates of heaven before the missile even hit him.
I thoroughly enjoyed every bit of this.
Yeah, this was 6 minutes and 53. Well, of what we watched is 6 minutes and 53 seconds is entirely better than the like hours I spent watching the TV show.
Yeah. And check real quick. When was that? Like,
when was this? This video?
It should say on
Bungie released
2012. I mean,
2012.
Come on, like really,
Yeah.
you can't match something that was made 2012.
Well, I don't know if this.
Apparently not.
I think the game came out in 2007, so this might have been on TV.
Oh, yeah, that's
before,
then
but
it's
they released
probably-
it on their YouTube channel. I'd have to look
yeah,
up. I'd
but
have
so
to look it
even
up
earlier, probably like,
Yeah.
come on, really?
Like, yeah, 2006 or something, maybe. But still, very just enthralling as compared.
Yeah, love it.
This is too scary. To control.
Vela and Vor are
Turn
scared.
it off!
I'm scared.
Help me.
Oh my god.
It's alright,
Oh,
Vor.
man,
We're
we
here
cuddle
for
him
you.
like a rising star.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then, what else do we got here? Got the Believe campaign that they did for the lead up to.
you're making that-
leading up to the Halo 3, because they had a whole bunch of trailers leading up to Halo 3, which were just amazing. But these were like, if you remember these trailers at all, these were basically like having a bunch of paid actors that pretended to be Marines from the war of the Halo games, remembering, being like veterans talking about the war and what Master Chief meant to them and stuff. And
Yeah.
I loved these, and so I'm also gonna.
I
show
think
these.
honestly, I think every live action trailer for Halo, it really didn't matter which game. I think they were all good.
Man, look at this guy flirting.
Vor, you're easy on the eyes. Oh gosh, you guys.
Well,
all right, but yeah,
He'd be a
let's.
lie if he wasn't.
Also, thank you for coming on, by the way.
Oh, hell yeah.
No problem, dude.
Originally, it
Thanks
was just
for
gonna be
having
me
us.
talking for hours
Dude,
by myself.
I
so-
feel your pain, and I
Yeah.
know Aid does too, because we're big. I mean, okay, so here's
We're
a funny
big.
story. We're no,
big
but
time.
You
but
guys
I
are
mean,
growing
Aid
pretty
actually. So funny story about me. Like, I have actually not played the Halo games. I literally grew in love because I watched like entire playthroughs and like all the
fair enough.
cutscenes and stuff, and I just fell in love with the story. So I'm not. I didn't even play the games, and I'm still
Yeah.
in love with what was created before. And I read some of the
Novels?
don't ask me which ones because I
Yeah.
don't remember. But but yeah, so I didn't even play the games, and I still love this franchise. I love this universe. So
Yeah, that's me with Silent Hill, where I didn't play the original games. I played Downpour and I think Homecoming, but
Mhm.
those are horror games. But I cherish those stories, and but I've never played the original ones, so I
yeah.
feel that.
But yeah, like this is just. I mean, it just proves you don't even need to play the games to.
Feel
Honestly,
something.
Halo is one of those franchises. Honestly, in some aspects, it doesn't even feel like it's a game. It literally feels like it's sort of a movie.
Yeah.
And like with all the people like, oh yeah, I don't play video games. Like honestly, dude, you could just watch it and
Yeah, you could
you
just
would
watch it on
enjoy it.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially Gravemind, which is that whole
Mm.
scene in Halo 2. We're gonna get to Halo 2 because the writing in that game is god tier as compared to
Mm.
that freaking show. But I wanted to show the live action stuff as contrast first.
Well,
But then I want to talk about the writing of video games and how
even
they can be better
Guardians
than
is god
shows.
tier compared to the show, and that says
No,
something.
yeah. See, Halo 5 has a lot of flaws, but Master Chief, at the very least,
Oh,
still feels like Master Chief.
Oh
They
yeah,
still get
100%.
Master
Like I
Chief
think
right.
I think my favorite aspect of Guardians is the whole just camaraderie between Chief and Blue Team.
Yeah,
Like
my biggest
literally,
issue with
that's a
that.
team that has went through
Yeah.
everything together
Yeah.
all those years, and when Chief questions things, they
Support him.
don't. They support him. They don't leave him
They
alone.
question with
Even
him.
if they don't completely understand why he does it, they
But they
believe
trust him.
he knows why he's doing that. And I will always love the game for that. Like even though it has flaws, definitely, but yeah.
Yeah.
This is I've played all the games, so
Mm.
and
Yeah.
they're just amazing games. Like
Yeah.
I don't think a lot, like even games like Call of Duty, I don't think Call of Duty ever really compared to Halo. Like the story
No.
of Call of Duty never
Some of them
compared to
had
Halo for
really
me.
good stories, but
Like Black Ops
the
2 and
older
Black
like
Ops had good story. Like the
Modern
early
Warfare,
games,
the original ones, like they had some
Modern Warfare, Black Ops 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Halo became less of a good series once it started to try to become more like Call of Duty with Halo 4 and 5.
100%. Yep.
Like even when they added sprinting, there was a very controversial thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't a huge thing, but it was like, hey, why are we? You guys just kind of
Like
copy.
you're just copying. Yeah. Be your own thing. That's what made
Yeah.
you unique and different.
Yep.
But yeah, my only issue with Halo 5 and the Blue Team is that if you haven't read the books, then they just kind of show up and you're like, who are you?
That is true. But for what they are in the game, I absolutely love it. And
But
I mean,
for
I
lore
did know a
fans,
bit.
I imagine that game's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you're
definitely.
reading like everything, then you actually feel rewarded in that game.
Oh, 100%.
But the issue is that if you haven't read everything, then you're going to be a little bit confused playing a game. But that's probably the biggest issue with. I don't even think Halo 5 has necessarily a bad story. I think they make some bad choices with Cortana, but it's more of that it relies on external material to have you understand completely what's going on.
Yeah. But I feel like I mean that's not so. I mean at least that is not an issue or an error story wise, because I mean they are still like, you know, in that sense accurate. It's just as a casual fan, it's probably going to be harder, or you're gonna probably have to like after you play the game or while playing the game, you're gonna have to like go back to other stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's like that's a problem that I'm like, okay, I mean that's sort of okay, you know. I think that I mean obviously you shouldn't need to know everything to play a game and understand the story, but if that is the case, I feel like it's not that much of an issue, because I mean diving into something that you like in the first place, like
just some people don't like to read and stuff, and so
that
that's
is
the whole thing.
definitely.
But then there's also the golden age of
audiobooks.
YouTube where you can golden age of YouTube as well, where you can just watch videos that talk about the overall
That talk
plot.
about that,
or everything you need to know before playing Halo 5. You know, so
100%.
What I wanted to mention the comment that what I didn't like was that Halo 2 I think wasn't a complete game, or was it 3? They didn't have the space on the disc or a full game. I could be wrong which game it was. I don't know if it was space on the disc. I think it was that the development time was hectic for Halo 2, and so they wanted to basically put all of Halo 3 in Halo 2, but they didn't have enough time by the release date, and so and they were already spending a lot of money on it, I think. And so they had to just push out what they had and hoped that they would get a third game to finish it. But I think the intention was to just have Halo 1 and 2, but they just couldn't for many different reasons. But yeah. Anyway, back to these live action stuff. I know I said thank you already, but thank you again.
Of course.
Nations have always built monuments to their heroes, tributes to the defense against or conquest of other nations. But the monument here doesn't favor one nation over another.
So the dude kind of sounds like Tom Hiddleston.
I could see that.
Seems like fucking Loki.
Loki in another variant.
Another variant in Halo.
yeah.
Museum
He's messing up all the timelines and universes.
You play it.
Yeah, sorry.
It is the first of its kind to commemorate the enduring survival of a species. Our species. More importantly, it commemorates the man who gave the world faith, who gave humanity a future, who made mankind believe again. Master Chief Petty Officer John 117. So it's no surprise that the piece itself is special. Begun 3 years ago in 2607, the monument is a diorama built entirely by hand. It is a three-dimensional snapshot of the battlefield and the soldiers who took to it that day. The scene has been reproduced with painstaking attention to detail and authenticity.
Your guy?
I forgot his name, but he's I can't believe I forgot his name. Commander Johnson, was it?
Sergeant Johnson?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Was that Sergeant Johnson?
No, Sergeant Johnson.
I know what the ladies look.
Yeah, I know what the ladies like.
Legend.
Yeah.
He's like the Lando equivalent of Halo.
Except he's like a grizzled, except he's a grizzled war general.
I think he's like the incarnation of a smooth motherfucker.
yeah. Lando and his one quick digression. There's an 80s Han Solo, there's an 80s Lando trilogy by L. Neil Smith, which it's a bit weird. It definitely feels like it came out in the 80s, but it is a lot of fun with Lando. So I'll say that if you ever want a Lando story, because that's like the only time you get like a Lando-centric story in the old canon. Otherwise, he's accompanied by the other characters. But he didn't get enough love, I think, in either canon. But
isn't he getting his own show, like the Chronicles of Lando?
I don't know. Is he? I didn't hear.
I thought they announced that. I don't know if they were going to go through with it though.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's nothing new about that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, we're talking about Star Wars again.
Yeah, it always leads back to that.
Always leads back to Star Wars.
Is that a bad thing?
Not necessarily.
Better. Today we go behind
the scenes.
Only
in canon. Only in canon. No.
To ensure
not only likes them, but he knows how to make them feel good.
Production scales of every Marine involved in the battle were obtained from the United Nations Space Command records. In this way, the artists were able to place the right face to the right soldier. After each face is completed, it is matched to a body which has been rendered complete with uniform and body armor, then carved by hand. It was the artist's vision for this tribute to humanity that each piece be shaped by the hand of man, without the aid of robotic model-making systems. Each handmade soldier is posed, painted, and placed on the battlefield, both the victorious and the fallen. Based on topographical maps of the day, the artists are able to replicate each hill,
Yeah, they really put
Each
a lot of work
plateau
into this fake museum.
and
It's
each
pretty
ravine
impressive.
to near exact specifications.
I love that it's in universe
But
too.
one of the real marvels is in the
Mhm.
cityscape itself. After fighting had ceased, meta-archaeologists unearthed the city's building archives. In them were found perfectly preserved architectural blueprints of every structure in the city.
Nice. That
But
is
the
so
challenge
much
was
like
not to merely
effort.
rebuild the structures, it was to
So
tear
much
them
love.
down as well.
Mhm.
Artists worked from the city plans to recreate the destruction caused by the fierce fighting, from each bullet hole to each piece of exposed rebar. Finally, our enemies were also rendered with extraordinary detail. Covenant
Imagine being the guy
corpses
that
that
has
had
to put
been
the bullet
recovered after
hole,
the
each
battle
individual
provided the
bullet hole in
models
the
for these
wall.
fearsome recreations. To complete the picture, authentic Covenant weapons and armor specs were accessed to fully outfit the warriors. Once the Covenant are placed opposite the Marines, a clear image begins to take shape out of the fog of history. We see how we were outnumbered, outgunned, outmatched, and seeing that, we realize the importance of the monument. On that day, half a century ago,
That's a good shot.
our species was pushed to the crumbling edge of extinction, and as we teetered on that precipice, staring down into the abyss, a hand reached out, pulled us back from the brink, and gave us hope. The hand of a hero.
The Master Chef.
The Master
Master
Chef.
Chef.
And that's another thing with the games. You know, I don't think it's very subtle, but Master Chief is kind of the Christ figure of the Halo universe. And they
Yeah.
kind of show that throughout these trailers and stuff. And I can totally buy that by the character we get in the games.
I know,
Yeah.
he's pretty much a god.
Yeah, when you with his actions and with his sacrifices that he makes and stuff.
Yeah.
But with the Halo TV show, in no world do I ever see anybody being inspired by this whiny.
I know, I was just
No.
this whiny bastard.
He literally betrayed his own yeah.
Yeah, but
It's not
yeah.
Halo. It's just not Halo. It's something
No, it's
different.
not. It's some other sci-fi show with Halo
Yeah.
slapped on.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
And then this music.
Can you tell us what you remember about the battle?
We'd been fighting for a while. On the 7th day, we ran out of ammo. We had to scavenge all
It's
we
okay.
could from the weapons that had been left behind. The pistols, shotgun rounds, a handful of grenades.
True.
I'll
Do
be
you
right back.
remember where you were?
Okay.
When Master Chief armed his grenade, I was in the back of an overturned warthog firing an M41.
How did you manage to keep it together?
We knew Master Chief was still in the fight. He gave us hope.
Exactly. He's a symbol of hope. Man.
I was a sniper. Used a standard high-powered sniper rifle. At 600 yards, it would go through about 13 feet of flesh and bone.
I love this.
Well, I used a shotgun.
Shotgun.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that one. This one, sure.
I love that
saw
they have
a
the
lot of
actual
these.
like
This is an
model.
old
version.
Covenant weapon. It's a spike rifle. We call it the spiker.
Spiker.
Who used it?
Well, the brutes mostly.
Can you show us how it worked?
Sure. They used it as a handgun.
It even has the lights.
Holding an
And he said they used it as a handgun, and he's having trouble holding it with both hands.
Yeah, I mean the brutes are like I don't know, what,
Yeah.
like 3 times the size.
I just love that. I just love that detail.
Yeah.
If
I really love that they made
If
it
you'd
like
told
an
me a few
actual
years ago we would
documentary
hear
of
in
like
this
the
place
war,
talking
like
about
as it
this,
happened
I
like
said, no
years
way.
ago.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, acting stellar
If there's
too.
one reason,
Yeah, the
why
actors
we're
that got
here.
to play veterans, and
Mm.
they look like they've listened to some stuff.
I would
Yeah.
say
It looks like he's been through a war.
Yeah, exactly. True. Though I will give it to 343 when they were leading up to Infinite, they had some good trailers like this, which
Yeah.
I might show. I don't know.
This is made by a plasma rifle.
Nice.
This is it. Right here. This is the spot. I bet I can remember every one of these trees.
How did your platoon get pinned down here?
We got word the Covenant was out here hunting us, and that Master Chief wouldn't be able to rendezvous with us until dawn, so we had to go dark.
Go dark.
There's no helmet lights, no readouts, nothing that'll give away our positions. Like rabbits down a hole. Invisible.
Do you mind if we turn the lights off?
You could literally do a Band of Brothers type show where you have, because Band of Brothers had like actual veterans talk and then went to that past. They could have done that. They could have done the same exact kind of premise and then revert to the past. It could have been, oh man, that could have been so good.
They could have done so many different things. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just thinking about the potential now with just this alone. I'm like,
yeah.
We could have
like,
had a Band of Brothers
this
sci-fi
could have
show.
been one hell of a banger marine type show, you know?
Which you don't have a lot of that.
Yeah,
Besi-
like we
the-
have
the
a
Band
little
of Brothers
tiny
is
bit
like my-
ODST,
Yeah.
mainly just Spartans essentially. So
Yeah, and
It'd be cool to see the perspective from Marines and sort of see Master Chief from their eyes.
Yeah,
like
like
pretend
as
it's
the
like a
hero
god
figure.
that he is. Yeah.
Yeah, like have him pop in and out, but we focus on like the smaller people. Because
Like,
if
sort
you want to
of-
know the plot of Master Chief, then play the games. But if you want to know the stuff that was surrounding those events,
Watch
you
the
know.
show.
Yeah. Man, this guy's a really good actor, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude,
Phyllis
like,
says
he's gonna get,
Forrest getting too
serious
emotional.
PTSD.
What happened then?
For 7 hours.
He's crying. Stop the video. Forrest getting too emotional. He's crying so much. I don't know what to do with him.
So good.
I was there. I was in the Battle of Master Chef. The food. Oh man, it gave us
Oh my
such bad
God.
food. Oh my goodness.
For the first time in 43 years, Lieutenant Shah returns to the
43
site of the battle.
years.
What is that?
A shell from a sniper
Oh, his
rifle.
face is like all burnt.
Amazing there's still so many remnants out here. Where's Master Chief's grave?
Honestly, I thought that was a cigar.
I don't think anyone really knows. There was a ceremony 5 years ago over there. Just as a symbolic gesture. The coffin was empty.
Why was the coffin empty?
Like Jesus.
No Spartan could be listed as KIA. They could only be listed as MIA, missing. So it could be said, but no Spartan was ever killed in combat. So the ceremony was tribute more than a burial.
Doesn't look like much.
Chief told me once, but no soldier should be honored for doing what is expected.
Do you believe that?
I did, and I still do.
Oh man, it's so good. Oh.
Beautiful.
What?
I thought I shot him.
I was just gonna make a lame joke like that. Like, could you like imagine like him looking at that, like just knowing those people, like, oh my god, like he died like 2 minutes later.
I would love to look at that diorama in person.
Yeah.
The jackals just carrying him away. There he is.
Boy himself.
He's not out of the fight yet.
Yeah.
Believe. Oh man.
Some serious hardcore stuff.
The UNSC Symphony Orchestra presents Believe, a musical celebration honoring the life and legend of Master Chief. Freedom is always worth fighting for.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
there we have it.
I like that. Just, I like how that's just in.
Oh yeah, you might get copyrighted.
Yeah, I'm probably copyrighted already. It's okay. I'm not trying to get money out of it, as long as I don't delete it. He's received the highest commendations for bravery, countless decorations for honor and selflessness, but Master Chief's greatest achievement reaches far beyond what any medal could ever hope to commemorate. For the men and women of the 26th century, he is a human embodiment of possibility, the last Spartan standing against the angry tide. This strength of spirit is forged through his legend. Jericho 7, the Battle of Reach, High Charity, tales rife with sacrifice and courage, tales that grow, flourish, and inspire. While he shapes his own history, he in turn shapes the history of all who follow. For no matter what horrors are released upon the day, they cannot match the reply of soldiers emboldened with his spirit, an army Master Chief unto themselves. Believe. The mantra for Halo 3. But yeah, that was a magazine ad, apparently. But
nice.
A hero need not speak when he is gone, the world will speak for him.
Indeed.
But yeah. Again, so
Awesome.
Inspiring and emotional as compared to everything
I mean,
he
at one point, like when he finished his stuff, you could hear all of us at the same time, just like, it was really impactful.
It was. Even even if you had never played the games, I feel like just watching that alone, you'd be like, man, I feel that like there's history here, even though you've never played the games yourself, and just be like. And the actors they got, I don't know if they've really been in anything else, but they did a phenomenal job for this little ad.
They honestly might have actually hired actual veterans to.
Yeah, they might have.
Yeah.
Just to can you please think about like actual like battles you've been in, and then translate that.
Yeah,
into
apply
the
it
fiction.
to this fictional. Yeah.
Yeah, they might have done that. But now, because I feel that they did a massive disservice to the Covenant in the show, I want to show some of the best clips with the Covenant in Halo 2.
Nice.
Yeah. Because the writing in Halo 2 is god tier, and Arbiter is my favorite.
Yeah.
More than Master Chief. Hold on. And then I think I do want to show the Halo Infinite live action trailers, just because those were more recent, and even those still feel
Halo
a lot more authentic than
yeah, that is true. Halo 2 did such a good job at explaining the Covenant's motivations.
It really did.
Like, or just how they function even. I mean, you didn't really at first know, like, are they just blatantly attacking humanity, or what's the deal?
Yeah. And then the juxtaposition with this opening cutscene that they had for the game, with having you got Master Chief being honored for the events of Halo 1, being given medals and praised, whereas in the contrast you have Arbiter being tortured and insulted for his failure. Yeah. Like that, it's like poetry. It's just beautiful. Like this. That's why Halo 2 is my favorite.
Rhymes.
It rhymes. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
No, it really does.
There was only one chip.
One? Are you sure?
Yes. They called it the Pillar of Autumn.
The Pillar of Autumn.
Why was it not destroyed with the rest of their fleet?
It fled as we set fire to their planet. But I followed with all the ships in my command.
When you first saw Halo, were you blinded by its majesty?
Blinded?
Paralyzed? Dumbstruck?
No.
Yet the humans were able to evade your ships, land on the sacred ring, and desecrate it with their filthy footsteps.
Noble hierarchs, surely you understand that once the parasite attacked...
There will be order in this council. You were right to focus your attention.
Man, Truth is such a good bad guy.
But this demon, this Master Chief...
By the time I learned the demon's intent...
Boom!
There was nothing I could do.
Traitor.
And oh my goodness, in the TV show you can flesh this out even further. Why weren't they?
Yeah.
They did. I barely saw the Covenant in the TV show. They showed up a couple times here and there, and there's so much to work with here.
Well, and they only show up for like janky fight scenes, so.
Yeah. Or the scenes where they're talking to the human girl that they shouldn't even have.
Oh my god, yeah, bringing up, oh my god. Yeah, human on the Covenant side. Yeah, that was a good idea.
To be fair, on the final episode, I just watched it this morning. They do say, like, in their native language, like, oh yeah, well, once she helps us out to find the Halos, we're just gonna kill her because no human can achieve salvation or whatever. But I guess there's a way of fixing it, but still,
That they
having
had
her
a human in
general,
the first place is just
just not what they would do.
Noble prophet of truth, this has gone on long enough.
Make an example of this bungler.
The council demands it. You are one of our most treasured instruments. Long have you led.
Truth is so quotable in this game.
Yeah.
But your inability to safeguard Halo was a colossal failure.
Heresy.
I will continue my campaign against the humans.
Oh my god, no.
You will not.
Also, like, seeing the brutes then, and then later fleshing the brutes more out in the... Well, it even starts in here, but then in, like, you see the results of what they're slowly trying to do in Halo Wars. Or Halo Wars 2, I should say. Yeah.
Begin.
And let's go from, like...
The weight of your heresy
will stay at your feet.
And
you
shall
will be left behind. Ah, so good. The writing for Halo 2 is on a whole other level. Halo 1 and 3 don't compare to...
Halo 2 had brilliant writing. It was something.
I don't know what they were on, but all the dialogue is just beautiful.
The plating was about to fail. There's viscosity throughout the gel layer. Optics, totally fried. And let's not even talk about the power supply. You know how expensive this gear is, son?
Yeah.
Tell that to the Covenant.
You can see, it recharges a lot faster.
So iconic.
I could skip that a little bit.
Tell that to the Covenant.
You told me you were gonna wear something nice. Folks need heroes, Chief.
What do you mean? Chief always looks nice in the armor.
Yeah, he does.
I clean the armor.
Oh, love that transition.
On one hand, one gets honored, and on one hand, one gets
shamed.
Yep. The grunts.
It was nice to finally see grunts in the show after like 5 episodes.
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
It was just the leads for like the first 4 episodes.
Drawn quite a crowd. If they came to hear me beg, they will be disappointed. Are you sure?
My goodness.
Gentlemen, we're lucky to have you back. Go ahead, Cortana.
Another whisper, sir.
Oh my god, Cortana looks like
gosh,
Cortana.
she's
I
blue.
apologize.
Wow, she looks like a hologram.
Yeah.
You look nice.
Thank you.
Sergeant Major, the Colonial Cross is awarded for acts of singular daring and devotion.
Relationship
For a soldier
between
of
the two
United
is
Earth
just
Space Corps.
So wonderful.
Yeah.
There can be no greater heresy.
The bromance between Johnson and Chief is just too real.
Yeah, I know what the Chief likes.
I know what the Chief likes.
What's up?
Commander Miranda Keyes, your father's actions were in keeping with the highest traditions of military service. His bravery in the face of impossible odds reflects great credit upon himself and the UNSC. The Navy has lost one of its best.
Well, that's another thing. It's not a big deal, but I just say it because I know that people wouldn't care if it was reversed. That for some reason they made Miranda first off be a scientist, which she's not, and they switched her race. Which I mean, fine if she's a good actress for the role. She was fine. I didn't feel like she was the best actress they could have gotten to portray that character, but they already screwed up her character anyway by making her be different than she was. And then another thing was he's just always at the base, and also Miranda knows that Halsey is her mother in the show, whereas it was heavily implied in the books and games, but was never actually
Yeah, it
addressed.
was not something that was like outspoken.
Yeah, like you can kind of find out subtly by the way that like Halsey talks about keys in her journals, but everybody just knows that she's her daughter now, and I felt that was more of a secret that they kind of kept between each other. But anyway, it was just a little thing that annoyed me. Not that having black characters is bad, but you could have Sergeant Johnson, but they didn't bring him in. Sergeant Johnson's amazing. I love him, but they didn't include him. But
I don't think it's racist to say if the original character is white to be upset if the follow-up
it's not the same.
It's not the same. I'm sorry.
You
that's
can tell
just
the
being
difference.
Lazy.
Yeah, because like if Black Panther became White Panther, something,
everyone
like,
would be
like,
screaming. So
yeah,
honestly,
like,
everyone who's upset about that, like us saying that, fuck off. Honestly.
Now we have been canceled from the internet.
Yes, we have been canceled.
They are basically gorillas.
Yeah, essentially.
Slip space ruptures directly off our battle cluster.
Show me.
Oh no. What are you guys on about with Master?
Just outside the kill zone.
Master Chef and pooping is all they're on about.
Negative, Admiral. Form a defensive perimeter around the cluster. Commander, get to your ship. Link up with the fleet.
Yes, sir.
You have the Mac gun, Cortana. As soon as they come in range, open up.
Gladly.
Something's not right. The fleet that destroyed Reach was 50 times this size.
Sir, additional contacts. Boarding craft and lots of them.
They're going to try to take our Mac guns
I like how they talk about Reach and stuff, but they
capital
went
ships
back
a
and
straight
tied up
shot at
loose
Earth.
ends.
Master Chief, defend this station.
Yes, sir. I need a weapon.
Right.
Following orders? What?
What?
Yeah, man.
Not getting all pissy with people because you're a soldier? Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know you guys didn't watch the
your
show.
Commanders?
I know you guys didn't watch
By the way,
show.
has he ever... Yeah, good question, because I have only seen snippets. Has he ever said, I need a weapon? Has he ever said that?
I don't think so.
Shame.
I don't think so. But
Shame.
here's another thing. So in the show, even though in lore, the Spartans knew that they were kidnapped as kids, they just kind of like accepted it and like.
Oh
took
my
pride in,
god,
like, the position. But they didn't know about it in the show, so he gets really pissed off at Halsey, and this broke me. There's a part where he gets so pissed at Halsey that he straight up
tries
like,
to kill her.
He tries to kill her, and like it doesn't matter if she's a bad person or anything. She's an unarmed person. He would never do that.
He would never
Ever.
do that. Yes.
Ever.
And,
And that's in the show.
even,
like
even though what like they did to the Spartans in itself is horrible.
Yeah, and they acknowledge
in a
that.
way, Halsey, like especially to John, because John,
yeah,
obviously
John was
main
special
character,
to
he's
her.
special. Like she was sort of like a mother figure in that sense.
To be
Like
fair, she should have never stolen him from
she
his
should
family.
no. Obviously, like the
Yeah.
whole process of like acquiring the kids for the Spartan programs, that's like highly, that's wrong. But I mean, that's kind of like the same leeway that you have with like the clone army. I mean, essentially that's also like slave, but it's like fictional, so
Speaking about that, you'd probably really enjoy the Republic Commando books because Karen Travis talks about that a ton.
Yeah, I
Like
have.
that.
I have
It does.
those, and
It does annoy some people because she's very I guess kind of preachy about it. Like I feel like she like gets too personal about it. Like she starts to think like it's a real universe, but she does address that quite a few times in those books. But yeah, it is a very similar situation. Only difference is that they're clones from the get-go, whereas they take. I mean, not that the clones aren't real people. Obviously, I'm not Krell. But they take, little kids, steal them, flash clone them with the sole purpose of those clones dying within the next couple months. That way the
Yeah, I
parents
mean,
grieve over their kid who isn't
think-
actually dead.
I think essentially, I mean, it's just a more drastic fictional approach to the cause justifies the actions or the
Yeah. Though
yeah.
arguably was it, because it was only human insurrectionists that were causing problems. They had no idea about the Covenant when they first did that.
Right, yeah, the
But-
Spartans were more of like like a fortunate accident in that sense.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they were originally just supposed to like completely, utterly destroy the human insurrectionists, but yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Can cook the
then I
gorillas.
thought they missed a complete great opportunity in this show because they had these I don't even know, are they like insurrectionists technically? Because I thought
Yeah.
they would have like the best opportunity to show like what it would look like where there were still UNSC and insurrectionists like fighting each other, and then the Covenant just comes in. But yeah, I mean they didn't really do that, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna skip ahead a bit too.
Mhm. Yeah.
This is just the entire game, so I just want to see
Yeah,
certain
stuff like
scenes.
this I watched, so to like.
Yeah.
Well,
Eggs, and his flesh is seared just the way I like it. Quiet!
The crash of the asteroid means a ship.
Oop. Nope. Ads.
Ads.
Annoying. Oop. I can't escape either.
More
though.
ads.
Unfortunately.
Whimper like crabs fresh off
There
the
we go.
teat. He's not meant for the jail.
What the fudge?
The hierarchs have something special in mind.
Covenant ship also looks what the? Hold on a second. Why did the sounds die?
Council decided
Okay.
to have you hung by your
can still hear.
entrails and your corpse
Oh, okay.
paraded through the city. But ultimately, the terms of your execution are up to me.
I am already dead.
Indeed.
I love
know
this
where
plot.
we
Like,
are.
Yeah.
well, sort of plot
Mausoleum
twist.
of the Arbiter.
Quite so. Here rests the vanguard of the great journey. Every arbiter from first to last. Each one created and consumed in times of extraordinary crisis.
The taming of the hunters, the Grunt Rebellion. Were it not for the Arbiters, the Covenant would have broken long ago.
Even on my knees, I do not belong in their presence.
Halo's destruction was your era, and you rightly bear the blame. The Council was overzealous.
I love this scene so much.
We know
Yeah.
you are no
So much insight into the
This
Covenant's
is the true
backstory.
face of heresy.
Exactly.
One who would subvert our faith and incite rebellion against the High Council.
Our prophets are false. Open your eyes, my brothers. They will use the faith of our forefathers to bring ruin to us all. The great journey is
A lie.
This heretic and those who follow him must be silenced.
Their slander offends all who walk.
An alien race that is
What
not
use?
completely united and still has
No longer
parts that
command
don't agree
Lead
with
troops into
what
battle.
They're
others
basically the
think.
Separatist Alliance.
Yeah.
They're a collection of a bunch of different species,
Yeah.
all in their religious beliefs.
It's just very complex, and that's what makes it realistic.
Well, I love the like, because I love like the prequels for Palpatine's like his chessboard game against the
Yeah.
entire galaxy through politics, and this is essentially a similar thing, but through like theocracy instead of democracy. But it's the same similar thing where people are being, I mean, the two other prophets I think genuinely believe in this stuff, but Truth is just using this purely for power.
Yeah.
And I love that aspect.
Mm.
And poor Arbiter feeling like he's the scum of the earth when he did
Yeah.
nothing.
Not as you are,
wrong.
but become the Arbiter. And you shall be set loose against this heresy with our blessing.
Ah.
Part of the
Oh my
council.
goodness.
The tasks you
Oh,
must
no.
undertake as the Arbiter are perilous, suicidal. You will die, as each Arbiter has before you.
The council will have their corpse.
I love the sense of honor that is like brought across here. Like they're literally telling him, I mean, we're essentially just giving you the chance because you're going to die anyway, but he sees it as a chance of like, even if he doesn't get anything out of it,
Well, no, here's the
he
thing,
himself
too.
has the honor code for himself of like fighting for the right thing that he believes in.
Here's another thing, though. They're basically telling him, yeah, you can do this for us, and you can feel like a little bit better about yourself, but you won't get to heaven. You're doomed. You're damned forever.
But he does it anyway.
Yeah. It just speaks so like in this one game, I feel so much for the opposing side, which I shot with no remorse in the previous game.
Yeah, that is true.
Arbiter is the OG.
What would you have your Arbiter do?
Oh, in this scene, immediately afterwards.
Well, I'll pause it real quick because it's like a bit, I don't know, low frame rate.
Oh, it's low frame rate. Oop. That's not good.
I don't know, maybe it just needs pause again. Play it again.
Oh, let's see.
According to our station, all without
okay, better.
Okay. On the blood of our fathers, on the blood of our sons, we swore to uphold the covenant, even to our dying breath. Those who would break this oath are heretics, worthy of neither pity nor mercy. Even now, they use our Lord's creations to broadcast.
Frick off, dude.
We shall grind them into dust and continue our march to glorious salvation.
I mean, this is essentially the equivalent of like Johnson speaking to the Marines.
Yeah. I love this little dialogue that's about to take place, though.
Oh,
I feel so bad.
This armor suits you, but it cannot hide that mark. Nothing ever will.
Oh, my poor boy.
Are the arbiter, the will of the prophets. But these are my elites. Their lives matter to me. Yours does not. That makes two of us.
Oh.
That makes two of us.
Dude, the fucking one-liners in this game
are
so good.
They just keep coming too. It's not like just one or two. It's like
throughout the whole game. But yeah, so we have the whole plot, and that's pretty much all the scenes I wanted to show, just to contrast like how they actually made the Covenant characters like people as compared to the show.
I think we managed to bring the point across.
Yeah, and then I just want to show this scene because I love it, and I have an excuse because we're currently in it, so I'm just gonna do it because it's glorious. Not this one. Hold on. I want. Yeah.
Oh.
I just want the scene because it's a good scene, and I already made it about Halo, so I might as well.
Yep.
It's just a.
Yes.
I am a monument to all your sins.
Relax.
Arbiter in Chief.
I'd rather not piss this thing off.
Demon.
I love that they call the Spartans demons.
I love that too.
And as is my
concluded.
This
one
looks like
is
the thing that
but
grabbed
flesh
Lucian
and
New Hope.
Yeah, kind
is
of.
the more diluted.
A really big Dianoga.
But do not waste my time with talk. There is much
Ah,
and
so pretty.
I have listened through rock and metal and time. Now I shall talk, and you shall.
Dude just wants to have a conversation.
Ah,
2401.
forgot about that.
I'm the monitor of installation 05.
05.
I am the prophet of regret, council of those hierarch of the covenant.
A reclaimer?
That's so disgusting.
We have much to do. This facility must be activated if we are to control this outbreak.
Stay where you are. Nothing can be done until my sermon is complete.
Sermon is
True. This installation has a successful utilization record of 1.2 trillion simulated and 1 actual. It is ready to fire on demand.
Of all the objects our lords left behind, there are none so worthless as these oracles.
They know
nothing
of the great journey!
And you know nothing about containment. You have demonstrated complete disregard for even the most basic
Basically, just
principles.
called this dude an idiot.
I mean, essentially, yeah.
Just no.
Oh, look at the
no
hate he has when he
context.
says containment.
one's great journey are the same.
I'd be like, dude, your breath smells like fucking shit.
Promised you freedom from a doomed existence, but you will find no salvation.
That looks like the time sack
on this
from Rick and Morty.
ring. Those who
Yeah.
built this place knew what they wrought. Do not mistake their intent, or all will perish as they did before.
This thing is right. Halo is a weapon. Your prophets are making a big mistake.
Your ignorance already destroyed one of the sacred rings, demon. It shall not harm another. If you will not hear the truth, then I will show it to you. There is still time to
Arbiter
stop the
going
key
from truly
turning.
believing in what he does to
First, it must
completely
yeah.
questioning everything.
Right. His story arc in these games is amazing. My biggest regret is that Halo 3, he's just the co-op player that you can play as, but he doesn't have that much to say. He like screams a few times in anger, and that's kind of it.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Yeah, and so if anything, I just wish that the writing was on par in 3 as it was in 2, but still a good trilogy as a whole.
Yeah.
Fate had us meet as foes,
but this
ring
will make us brothers. Anyway, I just love that scene, and it's another example of brilliant writing in the games. And unless they rip it off completely, there's no way in hell that they would have that good of writing for that worm monster in the Halo show. I mean, it would be really cool to see that in live action, and if they pull that off, I'll think that's cool regardless. But it's
at the same time, this is essentially live action. I mean,
yeah, in a way.
I mean, even though it's anime, I mean, it looks as good as like.
Yeah, that's true. And
oh yeah, Gamer's Little Playground. I think I've watched like pretty much
Yeah.
all of the.
They basically just make movie versions of the games.
Yeah, exactly. Movie versions of like games.
They keep like the important sections of gameplay that are relevant to the plot,
but like
and then they move on.
keep like the unneeded stuff out. So if anyone like wants to like isn't like into playing the games, but like just wants to know the story, highly recommend that, because that's like I'm pretty sure that's where I watched all of the.
This is the only way I was able to watch or to understand the full story of SWTOR, because I wanted to.
Oh yeah, I did that at some point.
I wanted to review all of the expanded universe, and I didn't want to spend 2 years stuck in SWTOR. So
I never finished it because I think the one cut is like 5 hours or something, or even more. It's like I never finished it.
And that's just for one little story.
It's just
There's
for
so
one.
Many, there's so many classes and factions you gotta play to get like the whole experience.
Yeah, I never finished it. I just like started it enthusiastically and then was like, no.
So my goal is when I started
Can't watch anymore.
Yeah, I stuck with the Jedi Knight class and just watched the whole story throughout that, and I haven't gone back because I figured when I play it myself, when I'm not doing videos on it, that way I could take my time. I could play as whatever other class I want and still experience the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a great resource for if you're trying to make YouTube videos on the Star Wars Expanded Universe and you don't want to sit in 2 years stuck in the Old Republic timeline. You go watch this guy's videos and you get the gist. But,
get everything you need to know.
And then speaking of other cool scenes with Cortana, we have that scene from Halo 3. You know the one. Master Chief finds Cortana.
Yep.
And as compared to, to be fair, it's only season 1 of the show, so they don't have much of a relationship, and that's not really, a fault of them. I mean, I wouldn't want them to be the best of buds by that one, but I doubt that it will ever reach the same sort of emotional impact as this scene does in Halo 3.
Oh yeah, one last bit, just because of because one thing that definitely also bothered me, even though it's not canon, is that they didn't use Chief's voice for the series, and the other thing is that the guy I can't believe I need to say this, but obviously this is no hate against the actor, but himself and the other Spartans don't look look like Spartans.
No, they don't.
When they take off their helmets, they don't look like Spartans, because Spartans, like, if you know how they are basically enhanced, they literally have so many scars because they get like cut open and like
I know, I got them
enhanced and like,
scars.
I mean, essentially like fucking doped in that sense, and like
Yeah.
and they're essentially, when they start out, they're essentially like children, like children's faces, or like, you know, on
Yeah.
like really muscular bodies. So I thought that was like probably one of the best scenes in Forward Unto Dawn, when like everyone except Chief takes off their helmet. It's like these like grown ass like 6-foot Spartans,
Yeah.
and they have like children's like heads, you know, beneath it, and like really pale, very white, because they always have the helmet on essentially,
Yeah.
and don't get sunlight. And then this like fucker takes off his helmet in the show, has
Yeah.
hair, has fucking like has a nice tan, and no scarring at all. So I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, first of all, this motherfucker is like 40.
Yeah.
And then second of all, he should be pale as fuck. Like,
Also,
and scarred.
I noticed he sounds weirdly similar to the Mandalorian.
I honestly, I thoroughly believe they watched the makers of the show watched Mandalorian, saw how
Pedro Pascal talk.
popular it was.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were probably like, because I know they didn't play the games and they don't care about the games. They've openly stated this, which
They're proud
definitely
of it.
bugs you the wrong way as a fan too. On top of it, but I honestly think they were probably, oh my god, Mandalorian doesn't take off his helmet too much, has this voice. Oh, people gonna love it.
Yeah.
Like,
But then they took off the helmet every second they could.
and
But,
changed the voice that made Chief great.
I just want to show the scenes that you know have emotional weight in it, as compared to the show where I felt nothing watching all of it. Not even
I
really
never
anger.
want to see Chief's face. That is something you should just never have to see. You should
I mean,
always have the helmet on.
I mean, to be fair, I understand, like, when you're an actor and you're portraying a role, you want, you know, to actually, you know, be shown at least sometimes. And at least with Mandalorian, which, you know, I don't really, I watched the first season and the second season. I'm not a big fan of the show, but he kept it on for the most part. And when he did take it off, it was for a reason. And I was, you know, that was fine. And they should have done something similar with this show.
Though I think if you get the right actor, like, I don't know. I think as like, I mean, I'm acting like a little bit. I mean, fucking not a pro at all. But
Yeah.
I think like, especially a character like, for instance,
you
like
acted as
Boba. Like, I would love, honestly, if they told me you're never going to take off the helmet, I would be, fuck yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be like in the suit all the time. Like, I don't care if it's uncomfortable. I'm gonna look dope as fuck, and it's gonna feel like the character.
Sexy as shit.
And I mean, hell yeah. But I mean, there are like actors like in Predator, the guy that played Predator. I mean, he never showed. I mean, obviously he can't, because I mean, it's a fucking alien. But
yeah.
But
if he took off like his head, it was just a human the whole time.
Yeah, it would have been
the
a
whole
bit
point
weird.
of the film.
But you know, like, I mean, you get the point though. Like, there are actors out there that don't have a problem with
Chewbacca.
playing the character and not themselves. You
Yeah,
know?
Chewbacca.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
there are actors out there that are, they want to play a character. They don't. It's not about themselves. They want to play a character. And if you find one of those, then you don't have these problems. Like,
Yeah. Well, it's another thing. Is it's more impressive if you can act with the suit on, because then you have the limitations. It's the same thing with the Halo games. Is he shows, you know,
so much
he
emotion.
doesn't always show emotion,
just
but when he
through
does,
body
you see it.
language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, I think that'd be more impressive for an actor to try to pull off. But
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, like this scene right here, where we don't see his face at all.
You found me. But so much of me is wrong. Out of place. You might be too late.
You know me when I make a promise.
You keep it. I do know how to pick 'em.
Lucky me. Do you still have it?
The activation index from the first Halo ring. A little souvenir I hung on to, just in case. escape plan.
Thought I'd try shooting my way out. Mix things up a little.
Mix things up a little.
Classic Chief thing to say.
Just keep your head down.
And say what you will for the weakness of the 343 games, but we also have this, which again he keeps his helmet on the whole time.
Honestly, for those games, like the Cortana Chief stuff,
that was the best part of
love
both
it.
games.
Yeah, both games. Yeah.
Um,
It literally like cuts into your soul.
Yeah. And all this with his mask on. You never need to see his face to get what he's feeling.
Ah, this one.
Cortana. Cortana, do you read? Cortana, come in.
It's the best she looked. Halo 5, she looked too real.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the strangest thing you've seen all day?
But if we're here...
It worked. You did it. Just like you always do.
I never flinch. So how do we get out of here?
I'm not coming with you this time.
What?
Most
All
of
with
me
the
is down there.
mask on.
Yeah.
I only held enough back to get you off the ship.
No, that's not... We go together.
See, that's so good.
It's already done.
And I
So
can't
much
even...
weight in the voice itself too.
Yeah.
I am not leaving you here.
John.
Oh my god.
I've waited so long to do that.
It was my job to take care of you.
We were supposed to take care of each other. And we did.
It's tormenting him so much.
Yeah, you can tell.
Cortana, please.
But this only works with 3 years of build-up. So they better not
Yeah.
do something like this in season 2 of the show.
Hmm.
I'll give up. I'll stop watching if they just rush to this. I mean, I'm already pretty much over it, but I'm willing to see what a season 2 could fix.
I agree.
Yeah.
Him just looking and everything crashing down.
Yeah. Symbolic
Symbolic, yep.
of his entire world just falling.
Yeah, literally his entire world's falling apart. And he still keeps going.
Yep. And then we have the very ending with this, with Lasky and him.
Which, by the way, love Lasky. Especially like when you
Lasky's-
then have Forward Unto Dawn before it.
Yeah, I haven't watched the movie, but
Oh,
I
you
will-
have not?
Yeah. No, that's the only thing I haven't seen. yet.
Highly recommend it.
I will.
Yep.
But after Johnson, this guy's like my second favorite like side character that they introduced.
Mm.
Because he's just a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah, right.
But this is also really well acted.
Mind if I join you?
Of course not, sir.
At ease, Chief. Feels kind of odd for you to call me sir.
That's the
Beautiful,
thing.
isn't she?
Yeah.
I don't get to see
Chief
her
doesn't let like in quote unquote fame get to his head.
Yeah.
I know, he's
Grew up
just
in New
like,
Harmony,
what's the next
attended
mission?
Kobulo Military
Yeah.
Academy.
Yeah.
Never saw Earth in person until I was an adult, but I still think of her as home.
Yeah.
You don't talk much, do you?
I mean, in this game he kind of did. which is
Chief,
one
I
of
won't
my
pretend
few
to know how
problems
you
with it.
feel.
But
I've lost people I care about, but never anything like you're going through.
Our duty as soldiers is to protect humanity, whatever the cost.
Whatever the cost.
You say that like soldiers and humanity are two different things. I mean, soldiers aren't machines.
Ah,
We're just people.
how he reacted to that.
yeah, because she said that.
Yeah.
I'll let you have the deck to yourself.
Pretty sure he says that she said that.
Yeah, I think so. Which wasn't necessary, I'll say, but it's okay.
She said that to me once.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would have been better to just not have him say that.
About being a machine.
You can just kind of get that from the conversation and remembering past conversations.
True. But at the same time, minor nitpick.
Yeah, no, it's minor. Oh, what? No, what are you doing? No.
No, Ed!
Win at work by communicating.
But it's okay, because it's going to the next thing I was going to show anyway. The few good parts of Halo 5. Which was this scene. Even though her being bad in the first place I already didn't like, but, you know, what can be done?
I have failed you.
You're scary.
Hello, John. It's good to see you.
Hyper realistic.
You've changed.
Well, and
yeah, it just looks weird. Oh, look, the better team.
I know we have a disagreement, but once you understand my plan,
your plan.
I love that they know that Chief has an affection to Cortana and like try to
be more than they are naturally.
Yeah.
To not make himself lose it.
No. That monster forced you. This is a gift.
Listen to yourself. Stand down, Cortana. Come home with us.
Oh.
It's not too late to stop this.
Stop. No, John. This is too important to stop.
See, this is Chief. I don't know what Master Cheeks is in the show, but...
I just needed to know if I could still trust you. You'll be safe inside this cryptum until my work is done.
The hand reach.
Goodbye, John.
Yeah, they messed up with this game, but they did fix it with the Infinite, I think. I don't know how you feel about Infinite, but
I own the game. I just haven't even played it yet. Just haven't.
Oh, then maybe I should not show these next clips then.
Oh, you're good.
I think I've watched through it, the entire thing, too.
Okay.
I just haven't yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
we
this
can,
is how they
we
try
can
to
skip it.
Oh yeah, we can skip. I'll skip it. It's okay.
If Aiden wants to play it and not be spoiled.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
you're good. You're good.
It's not like we don't have enough material to roast the show, anyways.
Yeah, I've
So-
only been going for 2 hours and 44 minutes. So
Yeah.
Which
No,
I'm
but
surprised not this long.
I mean, yeah, like for instance, they could have literally. I thought the approach of I'm not gonna say too much, but Halo Forward Unto Dawn, as I said, plays before even the first Halo game, so it's a young Chief. Like, they could have gone back too and just explored Blue Team, you know?
Yeah.
Like off the get go as a real fresh Spartans team and going on a mission for the first time, experiencing that, and that could have been awesome. But again, someone should have done a counter of ideas that would have been brilliant to do, which they just didn't and will probably never do.
And 6 months ago, we got this before the Halo show.
Oh.
This is for Halo Infinite. I just found another live action. Even with the 343, who people have been more controversial about, we still have this, which I thought,
Mm.
But yeah, this is, to be fair, my live stream has kind of gone off the rails. I went from talking about it to just showing a bunch of good clips from the Halo stuff. But I just wanted to compare and contrast, and I already kind
Yeah.
of gave my rant at the beginning of the live stream. So
I gotcha.
yeah.
Activating verbal reconstruction. Begin.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Dominguez, you don't know me, but I know you. I served with your son. He spoke of you all the time.
I love that.
Yeah. This universe is ripe for storytelling, and
Well,
first season just
We're ambushed.
yeah. What?
The idea of developing technology to read sign language to then
Yeah.
for the ones that don't know sign language and then like give it a mechanical voice. A simple
Yeah.
idea which might actually happen in the future. I think
Yeah.
it's very
I
cool.
imagine that's one of the more plausible things that could
Mm.
probably happen in the near future. Yeah, even something small like this, what the story is about to tell is so many possibilities within the Halo universe that
Yeah.
we should have gotten in that first season.
Mm.
The jackals. David didn't flinch. He led. He was brave. And I followed him into battle. Together, we fought them off. But we paid a price. While they carried us to the medevac, all he was worried about was you. I tried to tell him that his parents would be proud. But my throat. And then I started to feel confused. And I lost consciousness. When I awoke, he was gone. David saved many, many lives. He seized vital technology. Critical. To UNSC. Defenses. He was the brother I always wanted. He will always be my brother. And your son. He loved you. He loved you to the end.
Yeah. That's still there.
Yeah.
See, it's 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and all
Yeah.
the emotions you get. It's just
It's that yeah.
Yeah. That was really good.
Yeah, it was.
I love that for Halo Infinite that 343 tried to come back to that sort of like Halo 3 advertisement style.
Yeah.
Just made a couple of those.
It really did feel like going back to the roots, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just a lot of stuff like that. I mean, we've kind of covered all the stuff
Yeah.
that sucks about it.
Covered a bit.
Yeah, we covered quite a bit. Yeah, we got a full movie for a live stream now. With the link, but yeah, I don't know what I'll do now. We could just end it, but I don't know if you guys are busy or not. But
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pop out in a bit. If you're not ending the stream, but
yeah, I'm probably ending it soon. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Actually,
no, thanks for having us on. Had a
yeah,
blast
cool.
talking
No
about it.
problem. Anytime.
Hell yeah.
Well,
No, but
for those who that watch this archive, which I don't imagine anybody will be at the tail end of this, but for a trooper
if
that
yes,
is,
respect.
yeah, you should check out Strike's channel. Maybe you could leave, or I'll leave a link in the comments for it.
Thank
and
you.
also, you guys have well, Aiden also has his own channel, and then you
Right.
also have a dual channel.
Skateboard Films.
Skateboard
Zane's
Films.
channel.
He made a really cool Spider-Man film.
Appreciate it. I appreciate that.
It's better than the Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's better than No Way Home, and I'll say this: I like No Way Home, but without the nostalgia, it's not that good of a film. But
yeah, it really only got good once Toby and Andrew came in.
Yeah, but it really doesn't make sense. But that's a different discussion.
That is a different discussion.
This is a whole different discussion.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the short film felt like Spider-Man. It was a really good little short that you made. So
I appreciate that, man.
You should definitely check that out.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Also, Star Wars Remnants is very
Yes.
cool. Check that out as well. Anyway.
Yes, thank you.
Have
I
a
said
good
thank you.
rest. Yo, no problem. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and yeah, anytime.
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
Thanks
if
for
I
having us
catch
on.
you
Appreciate it.
streaming about something again, hell yeah, always happy to jump in if I have time.
Alrighty.
All right.
Well,
you carry
see
on
ya.
streaming, and
Yeah.
yeah, everyone in the chat too. Have a good one, and
Indeed.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Later.
Well, now it's just me, alone again. Well, I'm probably gonna leave anyway. So, thank you guys so much for watching this freaking long stream, longer than I actually planned on having it. But then other people showed up, so that was kind of nice. I make Star Wars Expanded Universe content and other content as well. But yeah, it's been fun, and you can check all those guys out. As well, though the people that were in the chat already know who those people are. And yeah, I'll see you all next time I do something. See ya.